I'd say it's going pretty alright. How you doing, Moore? You enjoying Courtney Gears? I was on a bit of a Ratchet and Clank last night. What do you call it? Spiral? Nostalgia kick? Attempting to repel the amnesia? I don't know. It's just a mood. Alrighty. Also, if you like this song I am shamelessly stealing, there you go. It is an edit of Courtney Gears' battle theme from Ratchet and Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal, edited to bring in some of the lyrics from one of the cutscenes. You're tired. Well, hopefully you can put your feet up to relax with a little bit of whatever we've got going on today. Because I gotta be honest with you, the last time I recorded Palworld, let me see. I think it was January, maybe December. Let's find out. Going to the YouTube VOD archive. It might have been February. Hang on, it looks like part 15 is 4 months ago. Last time I recorded was in January. It was uploaded to the VOD channel in February, though. Okay, so not completely lost. Stealing with style, hood up today, I see. Am I cold or what? No, I just... I need the shade, man. I was in my car earlier. It was over 100 goddamn degrees. It's Jersey, not the center of the sun. Why? And I already used the new joke last time, so I'm not taking my top off again. Not yet. Dang, can't even remember that? Oh, well, I can. Absolutely. Yes, I completely remembered it. That's how I got the dates so near precise in my recollection. I didn't need to look up the VOD channel, no. No, of course I didn't. What do you think? Alright. Let's see here. This was a save I started over a year ago now with a friend of mine. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten to play together in a while. Rathunas Retreat, that was my first save in Palworld. I jumped off of that. I was hopping onto the Silvervale community server for a good long while. I think I got to endgame in that version of the game. Meanwhile, this one, I just barely got to 50. God, you're so glad it cooled down today in Germany? Professional, for real. Was it ever in doubt? What was Germany cooling down to/from? You can give it to me in Celsius, but I will have to Google the conversion rate. For those of you scared that I was at 101 degrees Celsius. Fahrenheit, mind you. American. I don't speak standardized measurement units. Aw, skill issues. This was a save I only played a day of, but I was able to make some decent progress. I'm probably going to delete it anyway. But I wanted to try a hard mode playthrough from the top, because changing over to hard settings once you've already got your game set up really doesn't give you the experience. Maybe I'll try a fresh playthrough starting on hard with the Tides of Terraria crossover. Maybe. I got a lot of other stuff I want to do. I'm not promising. Okay, let's see. So from 95 down to, let's say, low to mid-70s. Okay. Well, I'm jealous. You leave anything plastic outside, it is going to melt right now. Although it does mean I wouldn't have to use any gas from the utilities to cook eggs. Then again, do I need the extra minerals from cooking it on the street? The sidewalk? Hard to say. But yeah, I'll probably delete this save. You know what? I'll do it now. You will only take delete, huh? Okay, fine. This time I'll pretend I can spell. Goodbye, Nicholas Vadicor. I'll probably remake you all over again on a better version. Or one that's actually temporally relevant. I don't think I had anything... You know what? Maybe we poke around in this save before I delete it, just out of curiosity. Can't imagine how much that sucks for me. Honestly, 35 is not that much compared to when you used to live in the average weather of 40, but Germany just hits different. I can spell. I can even cast. Let's look at this save before I delete it. It is an achievement. It's actually now an achievement in Bolt Gun Words of Power. They added 8 achievements. I've already got 5 of them. Okay, I don't remember what I was doing in the save at all. Apparently I caught some exclusive nighttime pals. 2 Noxes. It took me forever to get Nox on my main save. Oh, yes. I had this guy set up with the Fort Daydream. Check this out. Behold, a firing squad. Just start them off. And I also had my Vixie tag in, too. Good for you. Guys, you're kind of blocking my view here. X to doubt. Dang, I still don't have a life, though. I don't need a life. I have backup. I guess I got far enough in this that I... Was I not collecting Lift Monk effigies? I had to have done that on purpose. Did past me leave current me any signs? Oh, hang on. I did die once on this save, right. That Ike-Didier I have on my team when I'm not walking around with the quad daydreams. I got killed by that Ike-Didier. I've got the lesbians behind me. Nobody can stop me. I'd say they're more gremlins, so... Thespians, maybe. Imagine a gremlin citing Shakespeare. Actually, never mind. It looks more like the bi flag. Bisexual lighting. Or when they attack, bisexual lightning. I don't think I care to keep any of these guys into another save if I'm going to start over anyway, so... Let me just see if there was anything interesting around here. Got some basic crafting utilities. I set up all this shit and I still never upgraded my base even once. I just put in 3 beds to fill the space, I guess. Oh, sign. I don't know who wrote that, but I am not attesting to a damn thing. I plead the 5th. And I guess I had a crawl space instead of an actual second story to the building. Interesting. I took the time to build a questing station? Oh, hang on. They changed the shape of this thing since I last played. Because if you can look down here, it used to be partially underwater. The questing station was goddamn huge. It took so much damn real estate on your base for no good reason. Now, this makes sense. Except for, you know, hovering. But, hey, you know what? Who doesn't want to hover over the water to avoid splashback? Did I take the time to make any saddles? Let's see. I had a Nightwing saddle. Ah. They just floaty rocks, leave them be. I can't believe I got far enough into this in one day. Yeah, I did have my settings to maximize time, but... Brain? Did I unlock it but never make it? I unlocked it but never made it. Okay, that's making more sense. Okay. Yeah, no leather, no ingots, no palladium. Leave them be, L. At least I had my drifting wolf. Would you believe that after... I've still seen people trying to make this work as an endgame mount because of it taking up so little space if you're in an indoor dungeon or the like. Frankly, I would rather run a univolt. My brain not working like usual. It is, it's a default for a reason. So I didn't get you your machine gun. I didn't get you your saddle. But I did get a flamethrower. We're getting ready to delete it anyway. Might as well burn it all down properly. I wonder if the fire is going to spread on my current settings. I don't remember what I had them set to. Surprised I haven't lost it yet. Lost what? I don't have that much brain activity to begin with. I can't lose 0. I'm not allowed to go into the negatives. Do I have enough stamina to climb over this? Let's see. That's a big fat no. Do I have a glider? I have a glider. Okay. Might as well get one for posterity. The arson might have failed. The wood is retardant, and so am I. Okay, that's enough of that. I'm not keeping this save. I want to look at my settings before I delete it. Yeah, I did something custom in here. Yeah, I slowed the time of day and night to a crawl, so getting all that done in one day might be some big-ass air quotes. But yeah, there's things like 0.8 for the XP rate. There's... Seriously, what am I good for? I'm flaming, just not that kind. I think these are mostly the hard settings, it's just the time I changed. Now that would be aggravating. There's no reason to keep that anymore. No. You'll see what I've got for my breeding operations right now. I do not tolerate the egg timers anymore. I don't care if it's unimmersive. I'm breeding too many goddamn pals. Oh, and this was the worst part of hard mode. Short of like going full on hardcore permadeath, I am not going to do that. But yeah, dropping all items and all pals on your team, that hurts. Especially when you finally capture the one pal that killed you, only to find out you died before it got added to your inventory, so you have to go find it. I can't believe I remembered that. Then again, spite is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Hey, what, breeding? We stand the straights here, don't worry. Excuse you? Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, that's all the settings. Goodbye, Nick. I'll probably make you again in another update. Now, let's see. Rathuna's Retreat. That is Almathara. That's my first run ever in Palworld. I got to hating it. Not the game, mind you, just that save. Because I'd made so many architectural commitments that I didn't want to tear down, but at the same point, I need to make improvements. I got stubborn. I didn't have good pals. Reprieve is where I started to actually take things more than slightly seriously. So let's see where I left off. Because past me, a long time ago, left signs for me in-game. I don't know if that's a recent recurrence. Maybe. We'll see. Addiction. Addicted to breeding? Welcome to a competitive Pokemon player. I'm not even a competitive player. I'm a competitive breeder. I would have been one of those trainers in Gen 3 that had like 6 low-level common Pokemon, but I would be one of the only trainers who could fight that had a whole team. Okay, now let's see. 94... I have 94 pals here? And that's not counting anybody I have deployed to the farm either. Oh, look at all the puppies. Joy. Joy of joys. Go ahead and clip away. These are my breeding Yakumos. At least these 2 cages. I have males and females with every one of the desirable traits, whether rainbow, gold, or white. I considered getting Mercy Hit somewhere in the mix, but I have a... I can pull that up, actually. Hang on. Breeding passives. Let me bring up my note sheet. There we go. We're going to need to zoom that in a little, probably. Okay, so I don't think I need to rebreed Chickapee for anything other than getting max IVs onto something with a less convoluted passive line. My Chillets in storage? Oh, wait, Verfash, Verdash. Rebreed Patalia, F traits. I already took care of that. I actually need to focus on the male Patalia, because I don't have perfect IVs on that. I have perfect female, I don't have perfect male. Close, though. I should probably just use skill fruits on that. When rebreeding, Team Felbat swaps storage both as well. Replace Astagon in both storage for traits. Replace Astagon both in storage for traits and IVs. Okay. Now, in Palworld, prior to the Tides of Terraria update being introduced, there are 87 passive traits you can get. I would only recommend on focusing on 40, and frankly, cut that down to 32, maybe. Or did I already move those? No, here they are. These 9 traits, all tied to the elements, frankly, you can get better options in terms of attack damage if you focus on raw instead of a singular element. If you want to focus on a singular element, you're going to want something like Eternal Flame or Siren of the Void here, because these give you multiple elemental buffs and they're higher buffs overall. Another note sheet, my dang. I have so many note sheets in my goddamn Palworld folder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have a screenshot for some reason, and 2 Excel spreadsheets. You can't take the math autist away from Pokemon and expect the mathism to just go away. Where was that page? Right. So, frankly, these 9, I could breed them down to Yakumos. I don't. That's why, even though I have 40 in the yes category, I only have 31 of each of these Yakumo. So 31 males, 31 females, and I don't have Mercy Hit on any of them. No reds. Only rainbows, golds, and whites. You get it, I'm smart. I wouldn't say I'm smart. I just try to remember things, and then fail, and make sure I have evidence from past me. Future me should be appreciative, but past me never plans for future me properly. Right. So, of all the traits that I focus on here, Demon God, Diamond Body, Eternal Engine, Heart of the Immovable King, Mastery of Fasting, Remarkable Craftsmanship, Swift, and Vampiric. These are the rainbow traits, even though they generally appear as this sort of electric blue, maybe a cyan if you're generous. It depends on which part of the shading you're looking at. Now, these are additional rainbow passives, however, I don't put those onto Yakumo for, well, practical reasons. They're just here for completion's sake. Because you can't catch anything with Yakumo's ability influencing it just by having that ability. So, Eternal Flame, Invader, Legend, Lucky, Siren of the Void, these are all strictly pre-assigned abilities. You can put them on your Yakumo. I put them on there for breeding, especially. That way I can control which things I'm breeding down from which Yakumo. And all of these Yakumo, in case you're not paying attention on the right side of the screen, all of these Yakumo have perfect IVs. That's all the females, and it's the same deal for the males. All of these Yakumo are, air quotes, perfect. These Yakumo, however, these are condense fodder. I needed, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30, 31. Let's just round it down to 31. 31 times 116... 3,596 Yakumo. I bred over 3.5 thousand Yakumo in order to get a perfect set of males and females. Could I please stop saying breeding? Motherfucker, this is my breeding base! Look at this! I have 3 pens just for the couples. I know my notes are still covering things because I'm not done with them yet. So yeah, 3,596 Yakumo, minimum, went into just getting the fodder. Never mind actually getting all of these Yakumo online. I think I only have my males actually fully condensed. Yeah, I only condensed my males. My females, I could actually use most of those. In fact, I don't know if I would want to use up the alphas. But everything else, fair game. Also hydrate. We'll get there. We'll get there. So, the Yakumos, as I've gone over the rainbow traits already, here are the golds I focused on. Artisan, Burly Body, Ferocious, Infinite Stamina, Logging Foreman, Mind Foreman, Musclehead, Noble, Philanthropist, Runner, Serenity, Stronghold Strategist, and Vanguard. I do not weigh all of these equally. I don't really use Burly Body anymore unless I'm going for a pure defensive pal. Infinite Stamina, generally I don't use that. I just use Eternal Engine. Infinite Stamina is a bonus, if anything. Logging Foreman, don't need it anymore. Mining Foreman, don't need it anymore. Noble, I already have some Nobles with Fine Furs set for purchases, unless they add a new tier of it. Philanthropist, increase to breeding speed. That sounds good, and I did get that as far as my gold tracking goes. However, even though it is technically beneficial, it also pollutes your passives. Words? It pollutes your passives. Yeah. I'm going to hydrate now and pretend it's just being dry. Yeah. Philanthropist. Technically beneficial. Should be good. However, it pollutes your passives. Adding a skill you do not necessarily want, because you only want Philanthropist during the breeding process. You don't want a pal you're actively using to have Philanthropist after the fact. So, technically beneficial. I have it for completion's sake. Generally don't recommend it. Runner, I'd rather have Swift. It's a strictly better version of it, but, you know. Serenity, I'm surprised, doesn't have a rainbow variant, so I feel like that's probably going to get added in the Terraria update. Stronghold Strategist, and Vanguard. These I only use very restrictively on my... What is in my party right now? Ruin the 2K69. What did this spider do? You have a perfect attack stat. You have a red trait. Wait. You're an alpha. Okay, I have to execute you. Hang on. Past me had such a good number. I have to take away my notes. Hang on. Look at this. £20,000 put into the meat grinder. Plus 69. And now, this spider with gold pasties has to ruin it. So long, farewell, and generally, fuck you, numerically speaking. I want to see you go in. Didn't even get anything good out of that. I guess I can sell the entrails, but nah. Where's my team? Chai the Jet Dragon. This is the fastest. I named him after the pro tag from, why am I blanking on the name? Xbox game. Rhythm-based hack and slash. Why am I blanking on the name? Dude has a metal arm and a guitar. I want to say Sunset Overdrive, but that's older. No. I will remember eventually, but not in a timely fashion. Here is my Fellbat. I named him after a line from TFS Hellsing Abridged. He has Vanguard and Stronghold Strategist because I actually have to have him out and about while I'm using his ability, Lifesteal. I think I was working on a Lavander build that used the same passives, but I wasn't set on whether or not it was as good as Lifesteal because they have functionally the same ability. Practically is another question. I have 2 Gobfins to boost my damage. They also have Stronghold and Vanguard. And in case I decide I'm attacking a tree or a rock instead of people, they also help out with that, courtesy of Logging and Foreman. And, oh no, I forgot about this. You remember how you used to be able to ride your pals? Like gliding pals, especially? You didn't even need them active with a saddle. You just innately had gliding with the correct pals. Look at this. I lost my eagle. Now I have to use a hang glider. What kind of primitive shit? Primitive. Nonsense. Thanks, Nintendo. Everybody really appreciates your lawsuit protecting Pokemon's quality controls, right? That's why Legend ZA looks like it's actually a next-generation game, right? 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 Yeah, totally, yes. You're absolutely acting in the best interest of creature collector games, RPGs in general, especially protecting your brand. That is absolutely what everybody wants to see. Yeah. How the fuck Nintendo's copywriting so much remedial shit is beyond me. But yeah, that's how we lost the ability to summon our pals wherever we want them. That's how we lost our gliders. I wonder what they're going to take next. Maybe some of that Sony money is going to pay up eventually. Yeah. Oh, poor baby. Go cry about it. I did! God, he's going insane. You told me to cry about it. These are the consequences of your requests. I think I emptied out my box of most things. It's just whatever I had left from the last batch of breeders. These are all perfect, at a glance. I've not been breeding for moves, I will say that. I was only working on individual values and passives. So if I was going to use a Nyafia for anything, it would probably be as a base worker. I could see myself using a Tyrantris as a mount, but personally I prefer flying over grappling hooks. You never requested such insanity. I have no proof. How's that for proof? I'm covering me too, by the way. Okay, let me throw that away. I don't need that. Is the game supposed to have sound? Yes. I have it set to reduced with my general setup, but... let me bump it. Okay, I boosted it another 25%. If it needs to be higher, let me know. I can... Fuck me, that never happened. I photoshopped that. Do you want timestamps too? I can get you those. For funsies. I think these are the two Yakumo I've been using for most of my breeding operations, because if I'm going to have any one trait on a PAL, you can't breed down onto PALs and then eventually remove all traits. Every PAL that you breed from the last update I played on is going to have at least one passive. So if I'm going to have to settle for at least one instead of having them all empty, might as well be something generally useful. Vampiric is basically a better version of Nocturnal, because it also gives the PAL itself a basic lifesteal. It doesn't give you lifesteal that you can siphon off of it, but it will let them use health steal, and I'm starving to death. There we go. However, not every PAL is necessarily going to benefit from Vampiric. Like, there's a lot of dark types, as you can see here, that there's no reason to make them Nocturnal. The primary benefit of Vampiric is Nocturnal. The lifesteal is generally useful, but if I'm using Vampiric PALs, generally they're base workers. So I don't think I put Vampiric onto any dark PALs here. Grintail appears at night, but it's not generally considered a dark PAL. It's normal type. Same with Kitsune. Again, it spawns at night, it's awake, but it's not technically a dark PAL. Does it necessarily need Vampiric? Don't know. Did it anyway. So yeah, these are the two Yakumo that I treat as my defaults for breeding. These Xenolords, these two bastards, I'm not giving them anything to eat while they're reproducing right now, so they don't waste my resources. The Xenolords, I am still working on getting rainbow passives for, because it's easier to breed them and randomize passives than it is to actually repeatedly catch them. They're raid bosses. Huh. So I've bred over 800 of them. I still haven't made any in a definitive build yet. But I did clear 2 raid bosses. That way I guarantee 1 male and 1 female. Ooh, gotta take notes for your next time breeding your pals. My minister? Monster. You know what? Ministers can also breed, but that's generally, well, a short tail, young-lived. Whoops, tautology. Anyway, I've already gotten my perfect IVs for my Xenolords. That went wild. Again, randomization. It's easier than just catching en masse for raid bosses. I finished all of my gold and my white targets. 3 out of 8. I thought I had 4 out of 8. Again, I have another spreadsheet. This one's actually, I think, a text file. Hang on. No, it's the same text file. Get that out of my way. Vacate. Okay, I gotta shrink that a little, but hopefully you can still see what I'm talking about here. So, this is for all of my restrictive breeding options. It's not just raid bosses, by the way. You have the Blazabot Ryu, you have both versions of Bella Noir, you have Chicopee and Mimog. These are not legendary pals. They're not even particularly rare. Chicopee is one of the most plentiful and common pals you will encounter at the start of the game. Mimog is just a nuisance. If you aren't ready to catch it immediately, it will try to run away from you, and is one of the fastest overworld pals. For a Mimic with no legs, it will spawn them in a hurry, and then run like the Flash. After that, however, we get back to something a bit more normal. Xenolord, Palladius, Necromus, Frostallion, Jetragon, Xenovader, and Xenoguard. So I have Xenolord, Xenovader, and Xenoguard in here. Xenolord is kind of a separate case because it's a raid boss. Xenovader and Xenoguard are also pains in the ass to breed, because these are meteor spawns. Oop. Oh god, the autism is back. It sucks to suck. If only I had more skill. Breeding has a lot of RNG involved, unfortunately. I can only force them to bump uglies so damn much. So yeah, Xenovader and Xenoguard, I've yet to find a guaranteed way to spawn them as lucky, so there's no way to breed it onto them. Because you have very limited options with Xenovader and Xenoguard. Like, Frostallion. Frostallion Noct is technically a legendary pal, but because of the ability to breed it from, I believe, the Hellzephyr line, it's technically not a restrictive breeding option. You can put damn near any ability you want on it. Like, if you can breed it into a Hellzephyr, you can breed it into a Frostallion Noct. So yeah, if you want Siren of the Void on there for both Dark and Ice, something you'd expect from Bella Noir Libero, you can put on a Frostallion Noct. As far as the Legendary is concerned, I'm missing Mastery of Fasting from both Necromus and Jetragon. Then I'm done with everything except for Xenolord. Xenolord, I have, let's see. I have 4 out of 9, that's it. Okay, so it is 3 out of 8 technically, because I'm factoring in whether you count Invader or Otherworldly Cells. Okay. Actually, you get Invader and Otherworldly Cells, so this should be a 5 out of 10. That means I'm still missing Diamond Body, the best defensive perk. Mastery of Fasting, I don't use that generally. Or Remarkable Craftsmanship. I thought Rift Crystals, I was back in Dragon's Dogma for a second. Remarkable Craftsmanship. I don't see Xenolord as a good base worker. Throw that away. It has 1 rank in gathering herbs, specifically. It's not a good base worker. You shouldn't use it as a base worker. I'm not prioritizing Remarkable Craftsmanship, but here's the thing. Whether it is Diamond Body, Mastery of Fasting, Remarkable Craftsmanship, Swift, or Vampiric, I can't choose those. I get what I get through the randomization of breeding. I've gotten Demon God like 3 separate times on Xenolord. Didn't mean to deposit you, sorry. And these ones are randomized with completely different abilities compared to what I have currently in there, because I don't know if I'm getting good odds off of what they're producing. I would prefer these ones because this pair, if I send them in, there's already 1 rainbow passive in the mix. Wait. I have Vampiric on a Xenolord. Why is that not on my checklist? Six out of 10. So I'm just missing Diamond Body, Mastery of Fasting, Remarkable Craftsmanship, and Swift. Swift especially I want for a goddamn Xenolord, because Swift Eternal Engine on a Xenolord, you can make your arguments as to whether or not that's as good as a Jetragon, because it does have a walk cycle. If you have a walk cycle, you can run out of stamina over water and risk drowning. Jetragon, on the other hand, it floats by default. You can't drown. But on Xenolord, you can use your own weapons. On Jetragon, you have to use Jetragon's own attacks. Have to. No choice. Personally, I think I prefer Jet Dragon right now, but I do want to build a Xeno Lord once I get the 2 necessary skills. So I have Eternal Engine, I need Swift. Was there anything else on that note sheet I needed to go over? Let's see. I went over the plans at the top of it. Went over the golds, the rainbows, actually, there's only a handful of good whites as far as skills are concerned. So, if you're using Noble, then you also want Fine Furs. There's no reason to have just one when you can have both simultaneously. Jump from a 5% to roughly an 8%. They don't stack linearly. They have something like a cumulative impact. So it's closer to a 7% than an 8%. Impatient, active skill reduction minus 15%. This is just a worse version of Serenity, but that said, if you're really desperate for cooldowns, there is no gold passive equivalent. Serenity is better. It gives you skill cooldown plus an attack buff. Impatient just gives you the skill cooldown. But you can do both. Though, since recent patches have made it so that you don't actually need to wait for cooldowns if you recall a pal, the argument does decrease. But if you're keeping your pal out and active the entire time, there's a good solid rationale for it. I understand. I don't know if I agree, but I understand. Nimble. If you're making a ground-based mount, I say you should have the 4 following skills. Eternal Engine, Swift, Nimble, Runner. Runner's better than Nimble, mind you. I got that in the wrong order. But if you're doing like a pure dedicated ground mount like Univolt, absolutely. You want all of the speed passives. They do add up. Math. Yes, your worst subject in school. I'm going to throw more numbers at you. Mark my words. Now, gold's restrictive to breeding 9. I went over this before, but honestly, is it better as a 4th skill than Demon God, Musclehead, Ferocious, and anything else? It seems too specific and not a large enough buff. Will think on it, but not sold. I've thought on it. I don't agree with anybody running these anymore. I think I will look into it in future options because not everything is going to get a raid boss tier double skill modifier. Not everybody's going to get plus fire and lightning. Not everybody's going to get plus dark and ice. But I do generally think that it's better to run a raw attack buff than it is to just run one of these 9 skills, personally. Now, these are the skills that I just completely rule out. Bar none. Abnormal, Aggressive, Blood of the Dragon, Botanical Barrier, Bottomless Stomach, Brave, Brittle. Some of these are actually technically beneficial, but they're such small benefits that I just put them all in the no pile. Brave, Brittle, Capacitor, Cheery, Clumsy, Cold-Blooded, Conceited, Coward, Dainty Eater, Destructive, Diet Lover, Downtrodden, Dragon Killer, Earthquake Resistant, Easygoing, Fit as a Fiddle. I think this is the white version of... Do I have anything with Fit as a Fiddle? I don't remember, actually. Nope. I'll remember later. Fragrant Foliage, Glutton, Hard Skin, Heated Body. I remember trying to do something with Hard Skin specifically on my Mimogs, but I think that was just because I had so many Mimogs with Hard Skin, the passive just kept popping back up. So, there was no particularly good reason for that. It's just I had a lot of Mimogs with Hard Skin. Hooligan. Hooligan used to be meta, if you can believe it or not. We used to have had such restrictive ability options on legendaries that it was actually meta to run Hooligan on a Jet Dragon. I believe it was, let's see, Legend, Ferocious, Musclehead, Hooligan. Just for the raw math on increasing your Jet Dragon's missile launcher ability. Which is kind of funny to think about now. But yeah, we have better attack buffs now. It's been demoted. You don't have to think about that anymore. Hydromaniac, Insulated Body, Masochist. I already showed you my old save. I'm a sadist, not a masochist. Anyway, Mercy Hit. Okay, let me just zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. Thank you. Honestly, the argument exists for it on non-mounts, where On a mount, you are controlling 100% of the attacks. On a non-mount, you have to worry about your pal's AI, so... I just don't like having exactly one red skill in the mix. It messes up my sorting systems. It's the one red skill I could honestly see myself breeding for. Masochist me? Am I sure? When I look at all the goddamn notes I've taken, and the fact I think I'm going to try and remember even one page of it, maybe. Motivational leader. After a point, player work speed buffs are irrelevant. Splatterina Anubis for the win. It really just is that, because I'm not going to actually be the one doing any of the base work. I have 2 pals that I've already min-maxed for it. And Splatterina is generally, like, as far as a base worker is concerned, almost explicitly better than Anubis. If you want an Anubis to be on par with a Splatterina, you have to give up Nocturnal. At which point, you are giving up, well, Nocturnal or Vampiric. You're giving up the ability to run them 24 hours a day. I can't fight you, you're always right, remember? Well, if you're always right, we'll have to see what's left of you after this. Vampire mentioned. Look! I literally have a vampire on my team. His name is based on a vampire anime. Well, technically a parody of a vampire anime. Actually, my notes are in the way, hang on. I told you, I have a vampire on my team. The only thing not perfect about him is his defense IV. I just need to bird 1 defensive skill fruit. He's perfect. I don't know about his attacks, though. I do want to replace his attacks, at least one of them, with Holy Burst. He's functional right now. I have used him for base raids. It works great until the helicopters show up. Best decision you've seen me make. Yeah, there was no reason really for me to make these Gobfins into alphas, but considering I'm actively going to have this Felbat out, like, in combat, he needs to be an alpha. There is an alpha slight buff that you just can't replace anywhere else. He's perfect the way he is. I got 8 points of defense that says he's not. Chai, I probably could have gone for an alpha, but generally he's there for speed, and I wanted the maneuvering in small spaces, so could have gone for an alpha, didn't. Hydrate? Okay. I'm back. So yeah, Chai, I ended up going smaller because I figured the maneuverability would be a factor. Galeclaw, I don't remember if there was ever a reason to do an alpha on this one. Wait. I just thought of something. Galeclaw, wait. We need to do research. Because the big thing with Galeclaw, as far as mounts are concerned, is that you could use your weapons while riding it. How is that going to work now that we're not actually, you know, riding a Galeclaw anymore? Can we use the hang glider one-handed? I have to know. Look, I found some test subjects. It worked. I can think? Don't get used to it. Okay, so I did keep the ability to use tools while hang gliding. It doesn't look right anymore. I'm used to using my assault rifle while flying under an eagle. It feels wrong. I miss my Galeclaw. And I took the longest time to actually acclimate to mounts. Oh, I missed one. Hang on. Why not a Sigma? Ugh. Such a beta question. I should go back to my main base and organize these, but I saw other signs here I don't remember. Oh! Oh, that's right. I sold 500,000 Bella Noirs to the goddamn Pal trader. Because I tried butchering them. I tried butchering base Bella Noir, Libero, and alphas of both as well. They don't have drops. They just don't have drops. So the ones I butchered were purely wasted. Instead, I sold them to a man in a mask with a creepy grin. He said he would buy or sell any PAL. Doesn't matter how dangerous, how legal. So yeah, a bunch of level 1 Bella Noirs. I hope they are living their fullest. Without being filled. Anyway, what's this one? Oh, yeah. To put it into perspective, I've kept track of that number for all of my breeding bases, right up until now. I've bred almost 60,000 PALs. Total. On this one save. I don't need these signs anymore. I already butchered those Alpha Xenolords. I've got Invader and Otherworldly. Those are innate. I've got 4 out of the 8 rainbows I was looking for. Yeah, Perfect IVs are done too. Was there anything else worth doing here before I forget? I've got all my beds here, so I could turn this into a fully operational base at any given time. Something's definitely wrong with me. Was it ever in doubt? I've got 8 beds over there. I've got 7 over here. I want to put some alpha and beta wave generators here just in case I do convert this into a fully active base. This is my expedition center. Yeah, sure. I'm going back to the other base anyway. I don't have any PALs in my box aside from that breeding operation, so I don't think I could staff an expedition right now. You also might have noticed, hang on. My PAL box is not at ground level. I took the time to start building this base under it, and then I put it here, on top of a 1-layer thick ceiling tile. The only reason was style. That's it. That is 100% of the reason. You can see the edges of my base. I have corners sticking out. Like, here's the line. Here's the base limit. And here's the actual limit where I finished building. I turned out the structure... Turned down the structure deterioration rate. So now things outside of my base do not naturally degrade over time. Yeah, all these signs are still accurate. The thing that's going to be funny to consider, however, is that I don't actually need all these extra cages anymore. I could actually make this into a fully operational base. Because they've added a whole lot more PAL storage options, so I can actually get rid of a ton of these. I really only need 2, maybe 3 for the Yakumos. That's just so they're always at hand. I don't have to worry about where they get lost in my sorting system. Yeah, I think we've shown off everything that's in here. There's the research center, there's the generator. Here's the bell. Then go for it. Here's the podium, the guild storage, standard storage, a repair bench, the condenser, so I can turn 116 PALs into 1 much better PAL regularly. Here's where I store my berries for the farm. Here's where the Xenolords are going stir-crazy, because I won't give them any food to fuck. But there's one more thing you gotta see about this base. The view. Wait. Do I hear Lucky? No, I thought I heard a Lucky. It's just Jet Dragon's propulsion. Never mind. Here's the view from the outside of the base. You can clearly see I'm breaking the boundaries from this top. Yeah. Hi-Fi Rush! I knew it! I knew I could remember things eventually. Dang, this shit's ugly. But eventually I can remember things. I don't know how the correlation triggered in my head, but I was flying on top of Chai, looking at this damn pyramid, and suddenly I remember the name of the game he's from. Hi-Fi Rush. God, what the fuck? I told you I was going to remember eventually. I didn't tell you it was going to be gentle. Also, yes, you can go to the inside of the pyramid, but I didn't put anything in here yet. Good job, but ouch. I got excited. My brain worked. That's probably the only time it's going to happen today. Yeah. I never put anything in here. I was planning on putting my, like, best breeders in a cage and hiding it right up here, but then it was a matter of convenience to actually reaching them. Like, I still have breeding operations going on, so... Shit's happened. The dogs are escaping. The only time that has ever happened. The worst part is, I know you're wrong, but I can't prove it because I can't remember. Which inherently proves me wrong instead. Ugh. I guess the only other thing is food in that chest. I have my conveyor belt over there, and I have 3 large incubators over here. So, as long as I have electricity in the base, I can theoretically incubate up to 30 eggs at a time. But I have my incubation timer set to 0, so there's really no reason to have more than 1, aside from aesthetics. And it's not even a mod doing that, it's just settings. Thank you, Palworld, for actually having QOL. But speaking of quality of life, let's go back to the main base. Exactly, you're right, I'm wrong. I should know that by now. If being me is wrong, then I am actually the embodiment of wrong. I'm not even going to fight that. But I am right about one thing. This is my main base, and I love it. Unfortunately, my pals, they might be slightly trapped at the moment. They'll figure it out. I think I had 5 pals here that I needed to finish refining. I know the Aquaphalaris, I don't know what else. Splatterinas are perfect, Lilines are perfect. Oh, the Mozzarina and the Malpaca, they're not ready yet. And the Chickapee probably isn't either. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. I got my Chickapee's perfect IVs, but I haven't actually condensed all the stats I need. So, I can work on that. I don't even know if I'm going to keep Chickapee on the farm for much longer. I don't know how badly I'm going to need more eggs. Shroomer Noct is perfect, Lulu is perfect, Cornelia is perfect, Orcirc is perfect, the Bee Guards are perfect. Yeah. It's just the Phalaris Aquas, the wool, the milk, and the eggs. Now we get to go to one of my favorite parts of the new update, which is actually the last update, but I was late to the party. Guild storage for pals. The first 3 boxes are the ones that I'm planning on keeping with me in just general. But everything else here, I was able to collect all of my viewing cages from around the map and just bring them here in one place. So I don't have to worry about going to the, let's say, southeastern desert, and then because of viewing cages, just immediately cratering my frame rate. Like, here's my living pal. They don't call it a pal deck anymore, they call it a Palpedia. Thanks, Nintendo! Like, I still have to finish a whole bunch of stuff for my breeding operations, but let's put all these guys in, actually. I need my Excel spreadsheet, too. Let's see, first things first. Where is Dire Howl? Ah, here it is, right after Celeray. Okay. I can mark that one as done. Let me just change the color of the box. There we go. I will probably hold on to these for a bit, just because it's useful to have those passives ready for... Am I going to use a Dire Howl as a mount ever again? Yes, but not on this save, because they also added global storage, so you can transfer your pals between your save files. It's a bit of a clumsy system, but it is more than functional. Because what it does is effectively create a template of a PAL that you put into it. You keep the original PAL on your original save, but everybody else can access the template. You can't butcher the template, however. You can still breed it. There's no good reason to invest resources into it, however. Like, you don't want to invest souls or condense into a template PAL. You'd only want to do that for original PALs. But generally speaking, the template system for global PAL storage, it works. That said, if I do breed a Dire Howl, it's not going to be on this character, so we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's shuffle a few things around. I'm leaving space in every box, by the way, because I know they're going to add new PALs. I just don't know where they're going to end up in the Palpedia order, so... Might as well be ready for them to add variants of pre-existing PALs. There is a perfect Vampiric Dire Howl and a perfect male Vampiric Dire Howl. So, the buck and the bitch. Let's see, who is next? Should be Grintail, I think? There we go. I don't need either of these, so they're going to be butchered. Yes, they were the boss version, but I can breed as many alphas as I want. After that is probably going to be Serpent. There we go. Artisan and nothing. It's kind of weird, but I do wish I had more pals with 0 passives so I could actually have a baseline to compare things on. As it stands, once you start breeding, you're not going to see passives anymore that are just empty. You're always going to have at least something. There are my 2 perfect Vampiric Serpents. Even got one of them with Thunder Rain on it. I can't remember the breeding combo. Next up is going to be Kitsun. But where? Ah, right there, next to Rayhound. Okay. Diamond Body. That was just a random Kitsun, by the way, with a rainbow passive. But unfortunately, not useful. It does make for a good ground mount. I'd say in the mid-game. But we're already past that. Next up is going to be... These are all from title updates, so... Gotta get past the original Legendary batch. I have a Lucky Kick-It that has to go into long-term storage with the Luckies. This one has nothing. Like me. You think I have no passives? No, I have debuffs. Let's see. Here we go. I got a bunch of Lucky Tyrantras. I'm pretty sure I have more than just this too, by the way. Okay, so Tyrantras. I've not been marking off my spreadsheet, I realized. Okay. I have the spreadsheet for a reason. Future me will thank me. Past me, not so good. Okay, so that's Serpent. Where's Grintail on here? Grintail. There you are. After Elizabeth. Okay. Grintail, Serpent. There's Kitsun. Jumps right out at you. Now for Kick-It. I hope butchering this thing actually gets me some oil, because I've seen so many people talk about breeding tickets. I didn't see the value, but maybe we'll find it. Tyrantris. That one go green. And that just leaves the Nyafia. We Italians have enough trouble organizing without looking like we belong in goddamn Has-Been Hotel, for the record. Future me will still have something bad to say. Of course. Nobody hates me more than me. I have experience. I've been hating me my entire life. Okay, so let's see. These 3 Luckies I'm keeping. These are all to be butchered. Yep. Am I sure? Look, somebody might hate me more intensely than I do, but the fact is I have experience. You know someone who might. Let's see. Oh, let me go over what I'm passing on the way. These are all of the bosses that I fought in the order I fought them for the overworld pals. Or just solo pals in general. The last boss, I don't know if I really count Xenovader in here, but it's the only alpha of the Xenovaders I fought. I should have a Xenoguard in here somewhere. Oh, there we go. I've only encountered one Xenovader that was an alpha naturally. I've bred alphas, sure, but... did we just lose the connection? Come on, baby. Where's the connection? I think I'm back. It looks like we're back. Let me know if we drop again. Still here. Okay. Let's see. Right, as I was saying, I kept all of the alphas that spawned as, air quotes, unique bosses. Xenovader as an alpha from a meteor spawn. That's the one time, like, randomly it gets a boss health bar. So, I put it in the boss category. Literally every boss was fought in the game at least once, and captured successfully. And then... the hungry sound. My character in-game has a hunger bar, so... the orange bar on the top right with the loaf of bread next to it. Palworld is still a survival game. You thought I disconnected, but it was just 2 seconds. Okay, I guess we're stabilized then. But yeah, the hunger sound is my character, not me. At least not yet. I did eat when I got home from the doctor, so that should last me a while. These are all of the bounty targets. Yes, that includes a lot of humans. I caught all the human bounty targets as well as any pals they used in the process, so... the targets are after their pals, respectively. So I had to catch Lasso, but before I caught Lasso, I had to lasso in his Mozzarina. Same with Dynamite. They're explosive birds. Not exactly great. I'm not farming these for good stats, by the way. These are just the ones I capture straight off the bounty bosses. Kill the humans? Why kill what you can enslave? I kind of wish they had better, like, pals for the human bosses. You know, aside from tower bosses, naturally, but still, like, the bounty targets. I'd say the strongest of these, when I was dealing with them in the moment, was... would I say it was Wixen? Maybe Almascule, because just on high level. Everything else, it's... I feel like Wixen would be my second pick for the toughest of the bounty targets having pals, but other than that, Almascule wins it just off of raw levels. It's the highest at 59. The current level cap in this version of Palworld is 60. And in addition to the bounty targets, I have about 18 humans just hanging around. Wixen, yeah. Box 51. Yep. That one, right there. Legally distinct Brakeson with a hat. Pay no attention to the Nintendo lawsuit. That's the German word for jacking off. Well, even better, because that looks like furry bait. God bless the localizers. I hope they didn't change it in German. These are all of my... Not lucky Gumos. These are my special form Gumos, however, because these are all Gumos with flower. It's not reflected in their portrait art. However, if you check their individual entries, it's not reflected here either. So the only way to make sure you have a Gumos with flower is to remember. And as you'll see here, look, he has a little flower on his head. Instant 7. Buddy, you don't have to get any levels. Thank you, but no. In fact, let me just go stand outside the perimeter of the base so he doesn't do anything. Hey, buddy. Come this way. Look at the camera. Come on. Let's see, what was the button for... Come on. His tongue has slightly too many physics for my liking, but generally, yeah. He's a precious little thing, isn't he? Just don't look at why there's so much barbed wire and steel gating outside of my base. Everybody's happy here. Don't worry about it. What? No, no. Maybe. Past me did leave future me signs. I just don't remember where I put them all. Fuck. What's this one? Mind the gap, please. I can't access my party from there, right. Precious baby. Gumos is a tolerable choice early on for both base worker and for party pal. I would recommend him for long term, but still, generally useful for a little guy. And he has one of the lowest level bosses, so if you want to get an alpha early on, solid choice. Gandalf, hey, how you doing? You're just in time for me fawning over my legally distinct, non-pocketable monsters. How you doing? I'll put you back with the others. I have 15 Gumos with flower. One of them is vampiric, by the way. The one I was just using. You can't breed down the flower. You can't. It still pisses me off. Name one after you, please, and please don't let it die. Do you have a particular pal you want me to name after you? You can tell me if you want me to catch it or breed it too. Depending on what it is. Don't say a raid boss, please. Yeah, I actually got a Gumos with a rainbow passive. A flower Gumos with a rainbow passive. On accident. I mean, how many of these are on purpose? Some of these have no passives at all. 2 or 3? 3 of these have no passives at all. And I managed to get one with Rainbow Vampiric. I got this before I got any rainbows on my Xenolord, by the way. I don't want to give you the exact math on why that's bullshit. It just bothers me. Gandalf, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were feeling bad. I hope you're doing alright. You know what? Fuck it. If you want to name a raid boss, you can name a raid boss. I'll name it after you. Just pick one. Whatever you want, PAL-wise. I think if I name anything after Moore, it has to be a Fellbat on account of, you know, vampires. Everything does, in fact, bother me. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always a grouchy, crotchety asshole. Let's see, after the Gumos with flowers, this is where we get to the Luckies. Okay. So I need to find someplace to put the Kikits and the Tyrantris. Like I said, I had multiple Tyrantris already. Where does Kikit go, numerically speaking? Kikit is between Shroomer Noct and Sootseer. I don't have a lucky Sootseer. Okay, it's 3 slots below Lulu, so... Okay. The Luckies are safe in their new home. Oh, I am the asshole. And proud. It's my specialty. I might rotate these Xenolords around for the sake of... You know, I have a good breeding pair that's already in the breeding base. I'll probably just hold on to these where they are for the moment. I have the new rotation currently in... Let me check that screenshot. It should show me the last thing I was working on breeding was a Grintail, in fact, so... I'm not going to put any new breeding pairs in that base right now, because that's just going to be me crunching numbers, really. I'm going to be grinding against the goddamn odds of suboptimal. Quit bonking! I see you in there. Yeah, right now, if I do any breeding, it's just going to be a nuisance, so... Let me see here. I know where I need to catch up on, though. It would be my Broncherries. But just out of curiosity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. Damn it! I was hoping I only needed a maximum of 69 pals to finish my goddamn breeding for perfect IVs. Oh well. 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. And that's just me looking at IVs, mind you. I'm not doing anything in terms of reading. Oh, I can also count full surprises. Oh, do I have any Cognito? I will go catch you a fresh Cognito as soon as it's nightfall. Do you want it to be named Graham, or do you want Gandalf? I can get you a Cognito, absolutely. So yeah, unfortunately, that is more pals than I was expecting. I still need to actually finish the IV breeding on. And that's breeding IVs and reducing all of the passives to the least objectionable option. I'm not going to get that done before the next update drops. I'm just going to tell you straight up. I'll do what I can. But there are limits. Graham, and we can what it die horribly? Watch it. Okay. Did I already breed my Cognitos? I already have perfect Cognitos, so I'm going to capture you one that is more realistic. How about that? I'm still missing rainbow traits on 2 of my legendaries, and I'm missing 4 rainbows on one of my raid bosses. I have over 80 pals I still need to get perfect IVs onto, never mind the reduction in non-helpful passives. And I have 4 pals, minimum, that are set for perfect pairs, but one of the members has a non-perfect IV spread. So Mossanda, Petalia, I told you about the male Petalia already, Bella Noir base, and Yormantide base. Those all need skill fruits. That is cool. Alright. I wasn't done yet. Like I said, those are the Luckies. That's where we left off. These are the pals that I've set aside for condense fodder, so anything that I've just put a bunch of extra pals into without butchering them, like, the Blasmut Ryus and the Liberos are almost as bad as all of my Yakumos. I think about 18 for each of them? Or something like that, Jesus. I think I started renaming them properly and then just got bored. 1, 2, 8, 10. I had 20 Blasmut Ryus that were just fodder. And 18 Bella Noir Liberos. The Gildanes are not the worst. The Mimogs were the worst. What would be the perfect pal for Alec? Felbat. It's literally the vampire pal. Also a short king, so it fits. Five Xenolords here, and I could have sworn it was more, but I haven't committed any of them to Condense yet, so... it felt like more than it is. I've butchered a whole lot of Xenolords for extra meteorite, and I'm not even using it now. If it's any consolation, we can catch some, not Verdash, I'm not opening your page. I don't want to... I'm going to remember your name. I'm going to remember, eventually. Are you getting bullied here? Was that a question? You're here. You're getting bullied. I am literally looking at this pal's face, and I can't remember its name. Why? I'm not opening the page. I can do this. I can remember things. No, I can't. But it would be perfect for Loki, don't you think? Angie and bonking. Well, it's a good thing you're not exactly tough swinging that bat around. By the way, is there a reason your bludgeoning instrument is not bat-themed? Like, the animal bat-themed. Why is it not a bat-bat? It is a good fit. We established that earlier. I tried to forget. Unfortunately, it resulted in me forgetting the wrong thing. These are my other restrictive breeding pals. Like, the legendaries in particular. The Jet Dragon and the Necromus, as you can see here, these are the ones missing because these still need Mastery of Fasting. Then there's Blossom Ryu and Chickapee. Chickapee should not end up in the same category as these goddamn pals, but there's no better place for it. Because you can't get Legend on it. It's actually restrictive in terms of breeding. The only way to get a Chickapee is with more Chickapees. Death, you hate me? Good. Use your negative emotions. Let the dark side flow through you. Yeah, Chickapee. One of the most common pals you are going to encounter in the early game. One of the weakest pals. It's basically a goddamn wishy-washy with ability negated. Like, we're talking like Caterpie tier threats here. And it's got restrictive breeding on it like a legendary. Why? And then there's the Mimogs. The Mimogs, these are just annoying to catch. And surprisingly restrictive in terms of breeding options. So, naturally, I got these with all the rainbow passives. I still need to actually get my perfect IVs onto a good build with this. I could actually see this making a good gatherer in a base. Go cry about it? Already did! That's when I brought up the screenshot and proved you wrong in record time. I remember that one clear as day. Xenovator and Xenoguard, as I said before, restrictive on breeding. These also have, not here. Otherworldly cells. So you can only get Invader on Xenolord specifically unless they've introduced new breeding options I'm not aware of. But otherworldly cells are exclusive to all of the... like, exclusive to catching the meteor encounters. Xenovator, Xenoguard, and Xenolord. So there are ways to breed down, but there's no ways to breed up. That means these are somewhat restrictive. Not as bad as legendaries, but still not as bad as Chickapee in their own weird way. And this is when I was starting to condense some skills towards builds. Also had some golds and some whites I was looking for. That was my character's stomach, by the way. You know what? Starve. Go ahead. We're in a base. You won't die of starvation. Oh! I forgot. I had a weird progression on my Xenolords. So that's why I actually kept a bunch I wouldn't ordinarily. To show you how fucked my IVs were. 4, 4, 8. You have to work to get IVs that bad. Or just have my luck. There are Chickapees out there that hit harder than this thing. A Stiff Breeze would do more damage than this Xenolord. 4, 4, 8? Its best stat is an 8 in defense. That is criminal. That is cruel and unusual. And it gets worse. 0, 1, 1. I could sneeze on this thing, and even the War of the Worlds would consider it cruel and unusual. That is a hate crime of a stat line. The only way it could be worse, quite literally, is to have just zeros. I have never seen IVs that low on anything, ever. And it ends up when I start spamming breeding on my goddamn raid bosses, of all pals. But, eventually... And keep in mind, I didn't keep every Xenolord. I got rid of most of them. I had bred over 800 before I got to here. But at some point, trying to combine... This was one of the originals. I'm not sure where the other originals are. I think I cleared the raid 3 times, so 2 more of them should be box late 30s, early 40s. I beat the raid boss 3 times. I needed 1 male, 1 female. I needed a 3rd try to actually clear it. Look at my starting Xenolords. 77, 83, 40. 54, 78, 8. That 8, that defense right there from the 1 female Xenolord I have, that was the start of the problems. I can actually blame the women this time. Demonstrably. The number is right there. Skill issue? Correct. That extra X chromosome, full of nonsense. But eventually, between those two and this one, a 97, 86, 8. I had 2 Xenolords that both had an 8 in their defense IVs. 2! I didn't even cross-pollinate them. The ones that are still in my primary storage, those are the ones I bred to get the main batches going. Do not disrespect the women. My bullying is unisex. I will hate everybody regardless of their genes, their chromosomes, their genitalia, their goddamn fashion sense. Okay, no, I will give you a bit of a pass if you're styling and profiling. But male, female, or anything in between, you are all equally disposable. Every one of you will be crushed under my cavalcade of chaotic nonsense. It's called being equal. I'm full of nonsense, and I'm sharing. You're the most disposable? Not while Moore is here. But yeah, you can see I started turning things around. I got 1 gold IV, and then I started to ramp things up. I have 2 near-perfect IVs here. 97, 197. We're just that last 3% off in a couple of places. So then we keep going. Perfect health IV. Perfect health and attack IV. Plus, the defense is at a 97. We are just 3 points off on 1 IV, and we have our perfect Xenolords ready to go. This was the first alpha Xenolord I'd gotten, and it had the perfect defense IV. Sometimes the universe just aligns. Gandalf, no, how dare you? And there it is. That is actually not the first perfect IV Xenolord, because it gained XP when I was putting into breeding first. But this was the first perfect IV with less than 2 red traits. Yeah, I had a very polluted gene pool, if you look at passives. It took some refining. You know what? Or I know what. You can't take this in. What did you do?
God, he's so goddamn cool!
Curse you, Moore! Who did you give that to? Thank you for being cool, Moore. I am tremendously appreciative. You're throwing coins at me like a goddamn wishing well. Well, now I'm gonna have to wish you well. Wait a minute. Who did what now? A hype train? What did you do? I actually have no idea what this is. Hang on. I didn't set anything up for a hype train. I don't know what's going to happen. Revenge and, Well, you know what? How about a smooch for you two? Kiss your butt goodbye, because I'm going to start kicking it next time. Thank you, though. Gandalf, enjoy the emojis that I'm still in the process of making. It gave it to a random person. Oh, it gave it to Brooks. Okay. Brooks is usually here for Pokemon streams. Ew. Yeah, Brooks popped in last time. Unfortunately, we weren't doing a Terror Raid, so he just kind of bounced. So yeah, where were we in the Xenolords? Perfect IVs, perfect IV male, perfect IV female. Trying to again reduce the baggage on my perfect IVs. There's no point in saying there was a singular first Rainbow IV because Xenolord comes with Invader. It already comes with a Rainbow IV. But this was my first time getting 2 Rainbow passives on a Xenolord. Eternal Engine and Demon God. 2 skills I do not recommend combining. But, yeah, I guess if you're going to use a mount and you plan on that mount attacking at any point, it is technically beneficial. I don't agree with it, but you can do that. This was me getting Hardly Movable King. So that is 3. And then more Eternal Engine, male and female. This is where I feel like things were getting good. Because not only are these 2 perfect IVs, they're a perfect breeding pair, male and female, and they also both have rainbow passives to start with. Doesn't get better than that. Unless you know, trying to randomize your IVs, or not randomize your IVs, randomize your passives, at which point you need a bunch of different skills. Oh. Click and drag, there you go. You need a bunch of random, non-overlapping skills so that you can actually generate new passives. But this was my progression of Xenolords, and I'm still pissed off about this one. 011 IVs. I thought I couldn't get worse than the 448. 448011. That might as well be my pin, because nobody's going to guess a pin that worthless on my crap. Actually, they probably would guess it. They just wouldn't find anything worth stealing. Here is me working on my Bella Noir Liberos. These were some builds I was thinking of. Demon God, Siren of the Void, Musclehead Ferocious. I don't know if I would agree with having Siren of the Void in there. Again, if you're exclusively running Ice and Dark, I see the value. But I would also want to be running Holy Burst, which is a normal move. You'd want to have some raw attack buffs in there over Elemental Focus. Burly, Diamond. These ones actually seem the most promising to me, because Bella Noir Libero, good base worker theoretically. It has Medicine, it has Transporting, and it has Handicraft. Not generally as useful as, say, I don't know, a Lylene or a Splatterina, but still, I see the validity, especially for the Medicine stat. And these ones, I think I was working on some of those golds specifically. Perfect IV with 1 rainbow passive, Philanthropist, Serenity, Nimble, you name it. And these are my Blazimuts. The Blazimut Ryu specifically for the raid boss. Eternal Flame, Ferocious. These ones I'm tempted to try busting out, because they're already perfect IVs. They've got decent ability spreads. Eternal Flame does seem generally useful. I'm more likely to use a combination of fire and electricity than I am, say, dark and ice exclusively. But this is another case of, do I put Holy Burst on here as an attack? And if so, is it worth sacrificing Raw for the elemental bonuses for a type that doesn't get them? And these are, again... I already have 3 of these that are set up as my base workers. I just don't have them deployed right now because I'm not doing any smithing. Vampiric, Burly Body, Diamond Body, Serenity. Yep. I see value in all of these, especially if I deploy them for a raid defense. Ew, fancy. By the way, what are you cooking? I sense I should be cautious right now. By what way? BWW. The inverse of the BBW. Fucking hydrate! I'm feeling okay, but if you're gonna insist... Okay. Water bottle. Ah. Alrighty. After the restrictive breeding, we should have my... These are my raid teams. I've only got like 5 or 7 of them ready right now. This is my Earth-type rating team. I have a Gildane for my mount while I'm in the process, and 13 Anubis that are deployed to the base. Now, I have my server set up right now where I could deploy up to 15 pals at a base, but I'm only using 13 per type because I want to have 2 slots open for Rescue Pal. It's been a while, you ain't gonna let my ass dry up while you're here. Also, I don't take care of myself enough. That's truthful, yeah. I neglect myself by default. It does seem to be what the universe wants. But yeah, considering what's available in terms of raids right now, and also what's available for elemental buffs, it seemed to make sense that I should just have the one mount ready to go. Primarily, I would use this for Blasphemous Ryu's second phase. And I would use the Bastcore squad for the first phase. So I have a Gildane mount and 13 Anubises ready to go, all perfect IVs. In an ideal world, they would all be alphas as well, but trying to get perfect passives and perfect IVs and an alpha, that can be a losing battle. You want to see how big of a losing battle it is? Wait till we get to my Frostallions. You added... Then you also hydrate. Same rule goes to Gandalf. Why the fuck do you think you're... Why the fuck do I think you're here? Who else is going to take care of me? Clearly not me. So, you know what? In this one regard, the vampire doesn't suck. Here is my fire raid squad. This is for the ice phase of Bella Noir, or Bella Noir Libero. I don't really like Ragnarok as a mount. It just feels like a slower version of, I'm not even going to try to remember now. Beacon. Ragnarok feels like a slower version of Beacon. Yes, Beacon's an electric-type POW, whereas Ragnarok is fire, but they do feel similar enough in maneuverability, I can't help making the comparison. Also, while we're here... Veilet! Veilet? I didn't nickname these. Yeah, that's just its name. Screw it, we're catching a Veilet for Loki. Veilet? I already breeded perfect ones, too. Breeded? Bred? Ugh. I go for some grains. And yeah, Yormantide Ignis for the fire choice. There's an argument to be made. I should have gone for a Blasphemous or Blasphemous Ryu, just in terms of, like, overall firepower. I like Yormantide Ignis more. Yes, it does have a huge-ass hitbox. It does make itself a target. But at the same point, it's also a much easier choice for getting a cross-contamination with fire and dragon tech. It's a... You're not going to get Magma Serpent onto a Blasphemous without some conniptions. Furthermore, we have the water team. Like, this is for Bella Noir Libera. This is for the second phase of Blasphemous Ryu. This is for the first phase of Blasphemous Ryu. You know, when it's still using thought. Brain? You swear to God, in all the fan fiction you've read in your entire lifetime, you've never heard the word breeding so much at once. Do not look into competitive Pokemon team preparation. It might actually break you. My brain no worky, yeah, so this is my water rating team. I don't like Azure Robe in general. Having to use it as the only option for a water-based buff mount. It was really the only option I can think of. Where else are you going to get Water Wing Dance? Where else are you going to get passive water damage buffs on your weapon? You need the elemental boosts. The stream is breaking for you for real? Hang on, I'll refresh. Let's see. How are we looking now? It's looking like we have about an 8-second delay, maybe 10. Does everything seem all right on your end? Okay, I saw that pop up on the stream, so that felt like less than 8 seconds delay between there and there. No, you meant your mental health. Well, I'm doing my job then. I'm a petty supervillain. I can't threaten world peace or the like, but I can ruin your day. And yeah, the Yormantide's here. I'm so precious. Ain't I a stinker, though? Going from Gollum to Bugs Bunny. Yep. Actually, Bugs Bunny is above my threat level. Toon DNA is too much. But yeah, as you can tell, I don't think I have anything invested in the majority of my mounts. Or it could just be Azurobe, because I hate Azurobe. Yeah, I just didn't invest anything in the goddamn Azurobe because I don't like it. So yeah, if I have to deal with a fire-type raid, I got a water squad ready to go. Azurobe is the mount. The Yormantides are, again, good targets. Slither Slam, exclusive tech for them. I have... It's not in here. It must be in box 1 through 3, then. Yes, this is my raiding Bastigor. This is the last one I have to invest souls into. So... It's already max level, it's already got the full IVs, the full passive spread. It's just a matter of getting the souls, or not the souls, the pals condensed into it. Brain. I'm looking right at it. I can tell that the souls are already full. Can I read? The souls are what need to be invested into it. I've already fully condensed it. That is the product of 116 Bastigors all in one body. That's what the 4 stars mean. The little off-blue fire sprite with a +0 next to it means I've invested 0 souls. So yeah, my Bastigors aren't quite ready to come out for another run at Xenolord. No, I cannot read. I can't. I'm amazed I got this far. These Frostallions. These fucking Frostallions. Trying to get a perfect alpha Frostallion mount took me the longest time out of anything I've attempted to do in Palworld. Even with my settings basically set to min-max it for me, even with mods, this was the thing that took me longest in Palworld. It was easier for me to go for hard mode raids than it was to get a perfect Frostallion mount, because I needed to not only be an alpha for the defense and the health, I needed to not only have 3 perfect IVs, I needed to not only have 4 perfect skills, and a full soul investment, and full condensation, I needed to have it all in one, with the knowledge that I could be one-hit KO'd by a raid boss, so I needed to have 2. If you plan on using this thing as a mount in raid bosses, you need a backup mount. Otherwise, you risk losing your elemental damage. You can't rely on your pals to deal all the damage to a raid boss. Not when you're at the high end of the hard raids. You need to be able to guarantee that you are dealing the correct elemental damage. So I needed 2 perfect Frostallions with Legend, Vanguard, Stronghold Strategist, and Diamond Body, just to maximize their own survivability. I could have swapped out Legend. I could have gone for Burly Body instead of Legend. But here's the thing. Legend gives the PAL itself an attack buff in case you have to dismount, and in addition to the attack and the defense buff, it also gives it movement speed. Or am I mixing that up with Lucky? At the very least, it gives you 2 stat buffs. Compare that to Burly Body, which is only boosting your defense on one side. It is a slightly higher defense buff than if you were running Legend, but Legend gives you a minimum of 2 buffs for an overall higher percentage. I can't pass on that. So yeah, I have 12 Bastigor ready to go, including 2 of my 3 alphas. I saved the last alpha for the final Soul Infusion, and 2 perfect Frostallions. And this is when I'm dealing with the dark phase of Bella Noir Libero. Chillet, one of the first bosses you're likely to fight, one of the weakest pals, is the only one that can give you a passive dragon elemental buff while you're mounted. It's the only one. So naturally, this thing is fragile as all get out. But it was a lot quicker to make this one perfect, for no appreciable reason. I just had shit luck with Frostallion. That's it. So here are my 13 Jet Dragon ready to go. Serenity, Diamond Body, Vampiric Demon God. Yes, I know I could replace Serenity with another raw damage buff, considering they replaced the behavior of cooldowns when you deposit a pal in the box. But I don't want to babysit the box during a raid boss. I want to be fighting. So, I'm making the choice to be technically suboptimal because I don't want to just be depositing and withdrawing the entire fight. I'm not a goddamn bank teller. I want to be a raid leader. And here are all my extra Frostallion. Look at this. These are all fully infused, by the way. So let's see, that's 13. 13 times 116. 1,508 Frostallion. 1.5 Frostallion are right here, invested into these ones that are nearly perfect, however, they're not alphas. They're not alphas, and there's no way to become an alpha. You just have to be born that way, or caught that way. So these are all near perfect Frostallions. Could I just use one of these instead of having needed 2 perfect Frostallions? Yes. Was I going to? You've gotten this far. You've listened to me. You know me. What do you think? Exactly. And here are 4 more of the Chillets, which you can tell I didn't need to breed nearly as many of these as I did the Frostallions. Oh, by the way, another box. So this is another, let's call it 1390. And it's about 12 by 116. Let's call it 1,390. About. And then I have 5 more Chillets. This one, if I made the soul investment into it, I've already fully condensed it. It's another perfect beta. Or perfect alpha, excuse me. Please don't make me mule for your forgiveness, Mr. Alpha. Or Mrs. Alpha. I could actually... Actually didn't invest souls in either of these. Surprisingly, where you need them for Bella Noir Libero, I guess you can just get by without the investment. In case you want to see the numerical difference, however, I don't have any level 60s that are non-alphas. That's unfortunate. Chai, get out here. Now get in there. You see how these, whether it is... Chai's not an alpha, I forgot already. I already talked about that less than an hour ago. Where's Cereza? Where are any of my other Jet Dragon right now? Probably in boxes 1 through 3. That's a -1 for retention. Or memory in general. Here they are. Cereza is my best Jet Dragon. It is the only alpha that I have that is basically perfect. So naturally, I named her after Bayonetta's birth name. Everybody else I have is Raiden, Dante, and Jean. Cereza from Bayonetta, Raiden from Metal Gear Rising, Dante from Devil May Cry, and Jean from God Hand. And eventually I remembered Chai is from Hi-Fi... Hi-Fi Rush. I won't yell it next time. I attempt to promise. But yeah, look at the stat difference between Raiden and Cereza. They are both perfect in terms of IVs. However, there is a difference in their health of over 1.5 thousand. You just don't get that unless you're an alpha. All of these males, functionally perfect. Thank you, mashallah. I didn't say I wasn't going to yell about other things, just not that one again, probably. But yeah, look, these are all perfect, except one of them is an alpha, so it stands out for having, let's see, 97 versus, let's call that about 1.7 thousand. What's that, about 15% difference? That is the big thing with getting alphas versus non-alphas. You just can't get that last bit of health, and it's a sizable chunk of it. It is less than 20%, but still, in a raid where healing is at a premium and everything is on fire, everybody's fighting for their lives, you need every last bit of damage you can get. So, if you want to min-max properly, and you're not concerned about, let's say, a riding pal, because, like I said, Chai, I was happy being a non-alpha, because I'm going to ride it indoors in cave dungeons. Well, good thing you're about to sleep, then. Maybe my dulcet tones can lullaby you. Is that what you're after? I may not be able to deliver. So yeah, an alpha for something like, say, a Splatterina here. This is a base worker. It's not going to help you if you're just doing manual labor. If anything, being an alpha before they changed the behavior of in-base movement, before they changed that, being an alpha was actively detrimental to a base worker. Because you couldn't fit everywhere in the goddamn base. Meanwhile, they changed it so that all base workers now behave as their smallest relative size. So, there's no harm in having an alpha as a base worker. Now. But there used to be. This is the last Bastigor I gotta fix. These are my extra Gobfin in case I need to put away my Jet Dragon and my Gale Claw. So it's just me, Fellbat, and 4 Gobfins in case I really need all the damage. These are my Noble Fine Fur Wumpos and Wumpo Batons. They go with me to sell things in case I need money. I think I've got like 7k diamonds somewhere, so I don't need any money right now. I just, in case I do. These are my extra base workers slash mounts. If I need a frost worker for things like the ice compactor. This is my template for having a Blaz Ryu base worker, but I already have 3 that are ready to go. So I don't know why I have a template in here. This is my Celestier in case I need a woodworker. Astegon in case I need a miner. Belle Noire Libero in case I need extra help with the medicine. I will not stop. I see you AOing. I'm going to ignore you until it's time to fluster you. Splatterina again. This is more of a template than it is a proper base worker, even though it is functionally perfect. I already have 5 of them here. If I'm at one of my barren bases and just need to mass deploy workers to get things done, like building pal pods, these 5 ready to go. This one is one that travels with me in case I need somebody actively working beside me. These Lavanders, this one is a template for a possible base worker, because even though it's normal, it is actually innately nocturnal. Even though it's normal, it is not inherently, I'm okay. Yeah. Right, Lavander. Even though it's normal, it is inherently nocturnal, so you don't need to invest Vampiric into it. You can get all 4 functionally useful passives. Work Slave, Serious Artisan, and Remarkable. So, this one is a template for a possible base worker. I can rotate it around, see if I need it or not. This one, however, I'm using as a possible experiment to replace Fellbat, so More, I'm sorry to tell you, but I might have to replace the one vampire on my team with basically a... How to phrase this politely? Its Palpedia entry is literally number 69. Does that tell you everything you need to know or not? Here are some more Jet Dragon. These are my either rescuers or... I think these are the rescuers. Yeah, so these are primarily focused on bringing pals to and from pal pods during raids, so they can heal if they get downed. This Verdash is in case I need grass elemental boosts, although I don't have a full team ready for that on a raid yet. It's just in case it becomes helpful. And I have 2 of them because stumbling into perfection sometimes. It's a matter of whether or not you want the alpha or... I'm going to be honest with you. I think I have 1 alpha and 1 non-alpha because I was trying to figure out if I could actually saddle up with it. But no, Verdash is like Fellbat. You don't mount it, you just send it out of its pal sphere, and then it passively helps you. There's no grass mount that does what I need it to do, so... Unfortunate. You cannot saddle the grass-type Cinderace. Here is Frostallion Noct. I also have Hell Zephyr. If I'm not mistaken, Hell Zephyr's ability only turns your attack to dark, but Frostallion Noct turns your attacks outgoing to dark and then boosts the power of all dark attacks while you're using it mounted, so... The difference is, I think Hell Zephyr is better for handling as a mount. I have 2 Frostallion Nocts. I only have 1 that's maxed out. Don't know why, which one is which on top. Let me swap that around. Okay. And Hell Zephyr Lux. It maintains the dark type of the base Hell Zephyr, so you, again, don't have to invest Nocturnal into it if you want as a base worker. It does have a good electric stat, or good electric ability for base worker. Not quite as good as Orsurk, but you can rely on that. But again, Orsurk can also do Handicraft, whereas Hell Zephyr Lux is only for electricity and transporting. So you pick your battles. It's a better transporter than Orsurk, I'll give it that. And also it gives you Wings of Thunder. It's, again, an electric buff on your attacks while you're in a raid. I don't have a dedicated electric team, though. So these 2 Jet Dragon are the rescuers. The rest of these were for teams that I was thinking maybe I would make, but now we're going to get new pals as part of the update. Who knows if these are even going to be relevant. These are some humans that I keep around for being useful. For instance, Dr. Braun, if you have him perform surgery on any of your pals, he can give them a new passive, or he can change their IVs. You don't get to choose them, however. You have to roll the dice. So I don't like using him, but if I'm starting a fresh pal, I can see the utility. It at least changes things up. The Grocer, this is where I get my foodstuffs. I renamed a bunch of these. Okay, I renamed 3 of them. But these 3 vendors give you different commercial needs. Like, this one I use primarily foodstuff. I named him the Grocer. The Pharmacist, I primarily get meds from him. And the Armor, I primarily get weapons and armor. The Black Marketeer... This is the guy in the creepy mask. This is who I sold my Bella Noirs to. The Metal Merchant, same general model as the Black Marketeer, but he's got a better color palette, air quotes. He's more blinged out. He's also got purely negative traits. That's not something inherent to the character. That's just what I lucked out on, or lucked up in. He deserves to suffer, is what I'm telling you. And then there's the Vigilante Bounty Officer, in case you want to sell/trade in your bounties, but you don't want to go to Dune Shelter. Considering the response the MMO has got recently, I can't blame anybody for not wanting to go to Dune. This is the Bastigor that I need to finish investing souls into. And these are the Blasma reused for my base, in case I need to rotate in either a miner or a smith. Because... even though I do have 2 forges over there and 2 furnaces, I also have a little bit of mining available on the base. Some basic ore, some quartz. Not a lot of mining, honestly. But I have the space. I could invest any of my node farms that I wanted to in here. Oh, and this is one other thing I changed I forgot about since last time. You may or may not have noticed, I used to have 15 beds in this area. But where did I get all that space from? Well, it might have come to do with the same time I was investing in all of these power storage units. And there's not just one row of them. I did a whole column on the other side of the base, too. And with that, I made 13 PAL pods up here. And fell off the roof. But yeah, 13 PAL pods, along with 2 power storage units. I've been keeping 1 pod over here by my ball assembly unit purely for aesthetic. That is literally the only reason this is here. I thought it looked nice in the moment. And then I put another one over here for practicality in case I bring a PAL over here while it's KO'd and I need to res it. So yeah, that's technically 15 beds. And they're all out of the way. I have so much room for activities. Is there anything else interesting I have in storage right now? Let's see. I have a full living Palpedia. I've done all the bosses. I've captured all the bosses. The only things I haven't done so far in the game that are available prior to the Tides of Terraria update, there's only 2 things I haven't done. The hard mode tower for Bjorn and Bastigor, and the hard raid for Ultra Xenolord. That's it. I'm almost done here. Same as I am with Monster Hunter. But both this game and Monster Hunter are theoretically getting updates this week. We'll see which one comes first. Those are all my raiders. These are from various breeding operations that I just haven't concluded yet. So, Vanworm is still my favorite PAL. I don't care if he's not the strongest, the fastest, or anything. He's my favorite. I tried making one as a dedicated mount, and then realized I would rather have Eternal Engine over Nimble. But this was also bred before the Eternal Engine ability was even added to the game. So, I haven't rebred Speed Demon yet, because it would be purely for my own titillation. Jet Dragon is still a superior mount. But Vanworm is my favorite. Demon, Diamond, Lucky Swift. Like, this is what Kid Me would think is the best possible thing, because it's 4 rainbow passives. And this one is just raw damage. Ferocious, Demon God, Musclehead, Lucky, where's Legend? Didn't have it at the time. And here we have pure mount ferocity. Eternal Engine and Infinite Stamina. I think I would rather have Nimble over Infinite Stamina, if I'm being honest. But this could be a very solid mount. And here's me going through different golds and whites while I was getting the rainbows for the knights. Here's some extra jet dragons. I still need to get Mastery of Fasting on these 2. And, oh yeah, I was going through more Fellbats while I was on the... When I finally got I Drink People, I had so many that were perfect, but just not alphas. So... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 perfect males, 8 perfect females. Are you happy now, more? There's more female perfection than male perfection. Do you think I'm still being anti-woman? I'm anti-everybody! And these are some extra raid bosses, or not raid bosses, just legendary bosses that I captured that had no fluff on them. Only the 2 inherent abilities, because as far as bosses are concerned, passives, Like, if you hatch a Xenolord that you get from a raid boss, that egg is always going to have Invader and otherworldly cells. But beyond that, there are guarantees. Those guarantees are not always going to be in your favor, however. So, you would want no guarantees. You would want it to be just Legend and just Divine Dragon if it was a Jet Dragon. That way you don't have to worry about any inherent fluff right out of the gate. Sometimes you get good passive, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's nice to just have a blank template. And that's why I hold on to these. And these are other pals that I was min-maxing, but I didn't fully commit to. I believe box 101 has full condensing, but box 102 and 103, those are just, like, bred properly. They're not fully invested. Like, oh yeah, here's an old version of Bastigor that, this could be a good base worker. I hold on to that as a template. This one, however, this was from when I was still looking into using Bastigor as, like, an active combatant. From my team. From me. Not just for, raids. Lulu was one of the first pals that I got perfect IVs on. I think it might have actually been the first pal that I had 3 gold IVs across the board. So I bred a lot of Lulus. Jet Dragon dedicated mount version. And here's one that is basically the template for all the other males. Dante, Raiden, and Jean. This is Cereza's little sister. This is a lesser Cereza. This is the weakened Bayonetta that we've unfortunately had to accept as of Bayonetta 3. If I was feeling cruel, I would name it Viola. But I won't. One of these days, I'm going to have to play Bayonetta 3 on the Switch 2 and see if it actually got a performance boost. Because that was... distractions. These are my Lylines. Unfortunately, none of the Lyline traps are in here. I think those are just in default storage. But yeah, Lyline is still legitimately one of the best base workers you can have. The planting, the gathering, the transporting, the medicine. It's one of the best all-rounders. And it is the best planter, bar none. Shroomer Noct. If you're just looking at it as a base worker, it's not the best at anything, but its passive swooshy spores, once you max that out, it makes every other pal you have on base better. This is a bunch of Splatterina. I don't have souls invested into them, but they're fully condensed in case I need even more manual labor. These Noclums, I believe I was trying 2 builds. Yeah, these runners were intended as base workers. Anything that's not a runner, however, like the one with Serenity, this was intended for, like, direct combat. I have one that... Let's see. I have one that I maxed the level on. I've still not found a situation where I find that useful as a combatant. But it is ready to go whenever the situation arises. Here's a bunch of extra Jet Dragon. These are all damage dealers, by the way. No souls or condensing invested. It's just, I had a bunch of other theoretically perfect combatant Jet Dragon, and I didn't want to let him go. And this one could have been perfect, but look at that attack IV, 42. The answer to life, universe, and approximately 6 skill fruits needed to fix that. I butchered so many near-perfect pals, by the way. Like, I could not tell you how many alphas I got with 1 or 2 perfect IVs and all the passives, but just I couldn't use them. It would take more to fix them than it would to just breed more and keep rolling the dice. Prunelia is excellent as a base worker. Its best part, however, is Prayer for Abundant Harvest. So, if you're actively running a vegetable or just any kind of food farms on your base, you want Prunelias. And I got a bunch of perfect ones. These Anubises, unfortunately, I'm retiring Anubis from my bases temporarily. I've replaced the ones that I have here at my main base with, not Prunelia, Splatterina. It works well as a raid partner. I will give it that. I like having a bunch of Anubis backing me up. It's just, as far as base workers go, I want somebody that doesn't waste a passive slot on Vampiric. Here's a bunch of extra Lulus. Again, perfect. all around perfect. Lulu is solid. This was another perfect Ragnarok mount. I could not tell you how. Like, Ragnarok getting perfect mount Ragnarok's for raids took no time at all. I did not have the ability to condense into both of them. I barely had enough Ragnaroks to condense into one mount. All of the bad luck I had with the Frostallion instantly gave me Ragnarok. In, like, the first 2 batches of eggs, I got 2 perfect alphas. It was bullshit. Of course, it's the bird I don't like. Right up there with Phalaris, which is just... it's a fire type. It has different functions compared to Phalaris Aqua, but I would rather use the Aqua version of this over base Phalaris in almost every application. These are some Univolts from when I was first preparing the mount. I still want to test them. I have these 2 set up over here. They don't have Eternal Engine on purpose, because instead of having to rely on my stamina... Not Univolt, Azure Main. Fuck. Univolt is the other electric mount. Ugh. Azure Main is what I'm talking about right now. Azure Main has the ability to dash as a passive, not a passive, like a movement ability, manually. So whatever you would need Eternal Engine for, you're displacing by the fact that you have a dash. It's better to just have Nimble, from what I've seen so far. I haven't experimented extensively yet, but I like it. King Paka. I accidentally made a bunch of perfect ones of these. That was my character's stomach growling, not me IRL. I made a bunch of extra perfect male King Pakas because I need to get a female King Paka perfect. And the gender rates for a species that is inherently named King, you can guess, are not great. Perfect Shrubber Noct templates. These Nightmare have all the abilities I want, but they do not have the IVs. So these will work for intended purposes, just not ideally. Celestier has all the abilities I want, but not necessarily the IVs. Noclum template for combat. Frostallion Noct template for mounting in a raid. Relaxaurus. If you want a missile launcher Relaxaurus build, I think this is the best you can do. Just focusing on the raw damage buffs to increase your missile damage, as opposed to every other attack a Relaxaurus can do. I've run the numbers before, I'm not a fan of it, but it looks so funny. I recommend you try it at least once. Here's another Bastigor from when I was experimenting with that old, like, combat ally build. This is my Orsurk template for when I'm using it as a base worker. And this Gobfin, Vampiric is not the best ability for it. You would want Stronghold, Strategist, and Vanguard, but perfect IVs, and it is technically a beneficial ability. That's everything I have in storage. Now we rise to the central column. So these are my old teammates. Here's Rain and Blood. This was the Fellbat I was running with for so damn long. I don't know what I was trying to do with the abilities here. Lucky and Heart of the Immovable King. Past me had a plan. Future me doesn't remember. Present me isn't going to investigate. Now we have Stigmata? Stigmata, there we go. Stigmata I did not have a plan for, even slightly, because I mostly use Bronze Cherry Aqua as a buff to my carry weight. The saddle gives you an extra bit of, I think, 120 pounds? So instead, I gave it a mix of Noble and Infinite Stamina, just in case I wanted to ride around feeling fancy. Plus Vampiric and Lucky. Vampiric was on there to see if I could tell a difference between using it and Fellbat. Vampiric only applies to the individual PAL, however, as opposed to Fellbat, its ability applies to both it and the PAL Tamer, so. Here's Detonator. A great Orser. I could see myself still using this guy if I need to farm Pal Fluids off of Gobfens. He's great. Ferocious, Demon God, Musclehead. The only thing I would change now would probably be Lucky to Legend. Because these are my teams from when I was still getting set up. The Jet Dragons, slightly less so. But here we have... I probably disproportionately like this guy for what I should. Because I named him. He's the only one named after a Judas Priest song. I like him, though. All of them named after metal albums. And naturally... who is more metal than Motorhead? So at the head of my party was the Alpha Van Worm, Inferno. Anytime I'm not at my base, this guy's in charge. Van Worm is the best. I will not hear any contrary opinions. Here is one of the Fellbats I retired. Vanguard, Diamond Body, Burly Body, Stronghold Strategist. Again, this was a case of I invested heavily into the passives, but I didn't have the IVs I needed, so... Also, it's not an alpha. It's not an alpha. It doesn't have perfect IVs. It was going to take longer to fix than it was to breed a new one. But this one did last me a good long time. Who else do we have down here? Michael! This was the head of my Jet Dragon fleet. I named all of my Jet Dragon after fictional presidents or other politicians. You used to be the head of my army. The first of my missile launchers. No one could devastate the enemy like you. And then they nerfed knockdowns! My Jet Dragon army became so much weaker. It wasn't even an army, it was a fleet. And we had to scatter them to the far corners of the sky because they got rid of the ability to knock down legendary bosses. Hell, I think they got rid of the knockdown on a bunch of other bosses too. Tower bosses. You used to be the strongest of my pals, but unfortunately the game designers wanted to give the other pals a chance. It's okay. You can rest now. And here is a Gale Wing I retired. Which, at this stage, if it wasn't for the fact that you still technically get the buffs, you just don't see yourself gliding under it. I miss being able to glide on my pals instead of a hang glider. But that's Nintendo's problem right now. This one was when I thought the passes would actually apply while I was hang gliding. I thought, oh yeah, I'll give this thing stamina buffs. That'll give me more hang time. It does not work that way. The passives on your PAL do not impact your stamina while you're gliding. Well, okay, what if I use Swift and Rudder then? That means the glider will technically be faster, right? Wrong. It doesn't work that way. The passives don't apply that way. Unfortunately. Yeah, let's go back to the top floor, though. You still got to see the other 4 Jet Dragons. Who else do we have from the presidential posse? We have Camacho. Michael Wilson, by the way, the first Jet Dragon I showed you, is from Metal Wolf Chaos. Camacho is from Idiocracy. A presidential depiction that, honestly, people say it unfortunately became a documentary. I think Camacho would actually be better. Hot take. I think Camacho would be a better president than the current administration. In other news, aren't I a comedian? I'm aware of American politics. I might be an American. Here we have Speedwagon. Speedwagon is not a president. But Speedwagon was also the only female Jet Dragon I had in my squad. Why? Because Speedwagon from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, best waifu. I will not explain. And here we have not just regular Captain America, Ultimate Steve Rogers. Because in a parallel universe, Captain America did become President of the United States of America. Would you be surprised if I told you that didn't end well? And last but not least, we should have... There you are. Nanomachines, son. Yeah, I had to have, again, not an American president technically. He was a senator that was running for president, but still. Gotta have the big guy from Metal Gear Rising. Who I've since replaced with Raiden in my better Jet Dragon squad. It was almost like it was a plan. But not really. Now to jump down the... Whoop. There we go. That wide open central column is purely for the Jet Dragons to go up. I should not jump down that. But it's not going to stop me. In fact, you know what? It's going to make me jump up it even harder. I said even harder. Never mind. Climbing the shaft is a waste of time. Let me just sort out my storage, and then we'll go fight something. We also have some bases to tear down, because I need to free up slots to actually deploy new forward operating bases once we get the new land masses. We did get confirmation that the Tides of Terraria update will include new islands. When did I pick up shotgun shells? Oh, right, the random bandits I killed. Duh. Fiber should go over here. Balls away. Entrails here. Coins here. I think that's about... Each of these is a stack of 10 million, so that's 47 million, give or take, in coins. Hopefully that'll last me for a bit. I'm just going to leave these here. I'll take care of the breeding stuff off stream because unless you want an example of it, a demonstration, it's just a lot of random chance. You don't want to see that, probably. If you do, speak up. Let me see. Am I forgetting anything? Looks like everything's going just as planned. So time to throw that plan into the meat grinder. I have 4 bases I need to tear down. Let's see. This one's by a meteor. Let's start here. Tear down what? What did I leave? I know I took down the viewing cages. I didn't think I took down everything. Okay, fine. I gotta have more base slots free so I can actually get ready for the update. Oh. They tried so hard, they almost got through my shield. Excuse you and your entire species, human? Just so we're clear here, I came to pick up rocks, they opened fire. They were the aggressors. You'll alibi me out, right? Oh, there's a lot of you. Tarantris, you don't want this smoke. Why are you tiny, vicious little things? Immediately hostile. Who is a human? You're a meat popsicle. Postical? Posticular. Testicular. Meatballs. Anyway, I'm looting the supply chest even if I don't need anything. Ooh, they updated the blueprint images. Okay. I don't need that, but I'll take it. I don't even want to think about how much I still need to catch up on from past updates, and they're adding a new update in less than 48 hours. Okay, that was one base I had to tear down. There's 3 more. I was able to actually set up a base someplace I'm not supposed to. Let's go poke around, shall we? If you're looking for this place, okay? Here's the coordinates. -914, -1318. You're going to be underground for a bit. You have to actually go digging for this place. And now, even though we're in a cave underground, the ability to build a base here was re-added in a previous update. They took it away, they gave it back. The first time you talk to the friendly Paltamer, you get a free skill book. It's randomized, so you can't, like, reliably get the one you want, and you can only get it once, so you can't, like, farm extra. Oh, Jet Dragon, please. And with that, I've actually managed to finish the entire quest line for all of the skill books in the current version of the game. I was saving that for you. You're welcome. Nothing else in here right now, unless I want to get out of Smokey, which I don't really want at the moment. Sorry, Meat Popsicle. I'm aware of the reference. I just had to bungle it a little for my own entertainment value. I'll give you a pass on that one, however. Not a multi-pass, though. You gotta work for that one. So yeah, I'm keeping this base where it is, just for the sake of, if I need to farm Chromite, I can bring Smokey here, and this should give me a good number of deposits. Let's see, where else do I need to turn down bases? It looks like there's here, here, and here. So there's one in the Arctic biome, one in the desert, and one in the forest. If you got a preference, say it now. Otherwise, I'm just going to start... this one. I need to actually go to the box to talk to fast travel. Hang on. But yeah, I'll go to the Arctic biome first, because this one had a unique interaction where it was able to spawn chests on top of the floors I built. I had things lined up and close enough that it's a strange thing, but it's not really useful. It's just, technically you can get a box indoors with loot. It was full of soup. Who put soup in a box? Did I already tear down everything here? Oh yeah. This place was full of viewing cages. I think I had 18 viewing cages in here, so... Let me just open a door. I'm tearing this place down. It doesn't have to stay that way for long. I had a summoning altar built here? Look. I'm aware of the haha funny of summoning a raid boss on top of the most destructible base possible, but here's the thing. I did it before. I think I summoned Bella Noir Libero on my Eastern Desert base. Or, it wasn't even Libero, it was just base Bella Noir. The base folded in under a minute. Unfortunately, it's just not worth it. But I can use these materials again. I hope your eardrums were ready for the construction zone. The vampire made me turn up the volume. Blame them. And now, if I did everything the way I think I did, this should be the weak link. No more roof! And we're going to do the same thing for the rest of the enclosure. We're not going to tear down every single wall tile. We're just going to take out the bottommost pieces. And then it can all fall together. Which means we actually have to start lower. Past me actually built this place to last. It didn't immediately fall over. Okay. That should be all the supports are... Yeah. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Oh. That one little staircase is holding everything up. Let's knock it down. I would say somebody yell timber, but, nobody will hear you scream when I'm done with this. Oh, except my frame rate! It's raining wood, hallelujah! We didn't explode! Just the building. Oh, god damn it. The natives are here. Hopefully they don't notice me. There's a reason I had to enclose that entire base. Too many things with guns spawn around here. And not the friendly things with guns like Americans, no. Those are scientists. Here to induct you into their scientism, lethally. I'm surprised there's only, like, a couple bits of wood still floating. Honestly. If you did this in, like, the first month of the game's launch, that would have killed more than your frame rate. That would have just crashed the entire thing to desktop. Palworld has actually been making improvements. I gotta give Pocket Pair props. Give me berries. Thank you. I think it's just this last patch and we're good. And now to delete the base. Goodbye. Where to next? We can just ride right home, actually. Fast travel from there. That base was kind of redundancy, considering where I keep my main base. Look. You can already see the little glass bastard from here. There's no place like home. Is there, Chai? We might not actually be able to get there on 1 stamina bar. We'll see. We probably won't, actually. But we can clear that mountain. We're gonna get close to clearing that mountain. We cleared that mountain. Right? There we go. Oh, there's a meteor here too, is there? The render is better, the render distance. Because I can actually see my jet dragon from this far away. It used to not work that way with the captures. Okay, who do we got? You guys already killed the alien? I avenged the alien. Even though I live in a frost biome, I'm an enemy of ice. That should be sufficiently offensive. I'm making no friends off that joke. Alrighty. These dirt patches are here specifically for skill fruit trees. I do not have any decided yet. The only ones I know I want to plant are Holy Burst. I don't have plans for the rest of these yet. But I will plant more skill fruit trees. Like, more than none. You know, we did 2 base teardowns. Let's go catch something. I still have some inventory space. That'll be fine. I'll take those off for a minute. Put on this ring. Let's go catch a vampire. North of here. There we go. Once you have a jet dragon, you can never go back to any other movement. It just does not feel as good. I'm not even going to use a paladin against this. I'm just going to shoot the vampire. We're going with the Van Helsing approach, except instead of a crossbow and bolts, I brought an AR-15. Or would I call this an AR-15? Let me get a look at it when we're in there. Know your place. There we go. That's not a guarantee, by the way. I want to point that out. It's not like Vampiric is a passive guaranteed onto a vampire bout. Why am I shooting Alex? Because I need him to explain why he became a vampiric vampire. Why? Not only did he just rainbow passive randomly, he got the perfect rainbow passive for flavor on the vampire pal. More? What did you do? How did you rig this? Fuck it, let's go to one of the other bases. I'll tear this down in outrage. Oh, right. Bella Noir tore this base down. Right. Shit. There you go, Vampire Prince. You're a vampiric vampire. Could not write that shit if I tried to. Alright, it's not sundown yet, otherwise I'd go looking for Cognitos, so... Yes. Okay, so far I've only gotten to tear down 1 out of 3 bases. I better have left something for myself in the forest, which I now realize I tore down everything in the forest for viewing cages after using the location for raid bosses. The forest probably has nothing either. More, I see you in there! Why didn't you tell me you were a vampiric vampire, as opposed to all of the non-vampiric vampires? Sorry for the drive-by. Don't worry, I have a mercy ring on. You can't die. Just injuries. You see, I told you, you can't die. It's fine. You can drown, however. But that's the water, not me. This is the reason I like Jet Dragon more than Xenolord as a flying mount. Because you can just hover over the water. You never have to step in it because you don't have a walk cycle. Jet Dragon just floats, or flies. Xenolord can actually walk. That's both the deficit of it as a flying PAL, but also the benefit, which gives you the ability to use your own weapons. You just woke up. You didn't do shit. Really. Then you need to explain something to me. It'll load in. Give it a moment. Why are you a vampiric vampire? Do you know what the odds of that are? And you slept through it? You're going to bed. Thanks for the stream. Gandalf, sorry. The Trickster God got me confused. Gandalf, I will get you your cognito before I end stream. Thank you for hanging out. Hope you had a great time. Don't worry, I will keep yelling it more, but it's not going to be anything unique when you're gone. Just same bog standard. Have a good night. Get some good rest. Yeah, anyway, vampiric vampire. Would you care to explain here? Do you know what the odds are, not only of getting a rainbow passive randomly off of a boss? Not only that, but also that it's the perfect one for the vampire boss, specifically? You don't know, baby girl. You just woke up because your name was being yelled. It's not a summon. It's not a word of power. For instance, if I yell duck, do you think that means it's going to summon ducks, or they're going to dodge? They definitely didn't dodge. Need another demonstration? Exactly. You guess you're just that good to me. Yeah, I guess this base was also already torn down because it was nothing but viewing cages, and I moved all those pals out of here. I need to destroy something while I'm here, though. And 2 small birds don't count. How about a little deforestation? Oh, yeah. I still hate that your breeding is as restrictive as a goddamn legendary. Have I reiterated that enough to you? What is your answer to this? Don't walk away from me! You're delicious! I can't make idle threats. Am I out of space? Put the ring back on. Okay. Actually... take the ring back off. Much better. Also hydrate since you're back alive now. Just let me tear down this base first. Which unfortunately I can do, sadly, very quickly. Because past me already tore down all the fun stuff. You missed me ripping apart the Arctic base, by the way. That was the only one, apparently, I left for me. Okay. Oh, right, Ring of Mercy. My bad. Excuse you? Mine. I wasn't even going to be funny with that one. I just wanted to hit the Mammorest with a mining pick. Alrighty, let's see. I need to go clear some inventory before we do any more bosses. Over 9,000 damage. But you made the mistake of surviving. It's almost like I have a Ring of Mercy equipped and gave you a fighting chance. Let's see. Do I eat the raw chickpea in front of the other chickpea? Mining for meat, my favorite sport. Fine, you'll stay awake then. I'm lucky you like me. I am lucky. Okay, I need to get to a fast travel point. Or we can take the long way. Actually, I don't have inventory space to actually get everything I want from the next boss, so... Whoop. There we go. You know, we've already kind of trivialized the raids on oil bases unless you're playing on hard, so... I gotta wonder what they're gonna do in terms of difficulty for the Terraria update. What do you think, random citizen? That one I've repeatedly come and gone from? Or I guess come and went from. I'm not gonna leave you to suffer my linguistics. I'm leaving. Stop hurting the chicken? Are you sure? I could roast them a little harder. Extra crispy. Ha ha, come. I already had those two, yeah. Then at least share some, it's the least I can do. Come and get it then. Oh, haha, come. Yeah, I guess that's... Is that a repeat? Hang on. I already had that skill book, damn it. I miss my bird. Wait, did I fill up another wood stack? Again. I guess I'll queue up some charcoal to make some space. I don't really need it, though. $26. Let's make it... Sure, that's fine. Or, actually... That's fine. I'm not putting any kindling pals in there just yet. Good, it pulled from my inventory already. You hate me! By the way, don't forget to hydrate. Okay, I'll do that now. I was gonna wait till I was done sorting my inventory, but what's the worst I can forget in 10 seconds? I forgot to eat. Everything? You give me too much credit, and it's simultaneously not enough. Already took care of that. These can go in. I don't remember if I was carrying those before, or did I just get lucky and find them all? I do not remember a damn thing. I think I got those from looting supply chests. Dumbass. Oh, I'm a little piece of shit, huh? And you could still just eat me up. What does that say about you? Brown noser or brown teeth? I love sunsets at this base. Hang on. Skill fruit, epic. There we go. Don't ask why the sun is in front of the moon. Huh? You heard me. We didn't get to see the best part, but... No, just let me drop. Directly on top of the cage. It's quite a view, isn't it? Solstice. And hovering. Anyway. Where'd this merchant come from all of a sudden? Maybe we shouldn't leave Brooks out of the... I was just about to capture him, but then he disappeared. Into the ether. Never mind. I guess we're off to catch Loki. I could open the door, but then I couldn't climb it. Okay, let's see. Should be... Yep, right there. Did I remember to equip the Ring of Mercy? I did. Okay. I couldn't account for Who would account for telemarketing merchants? Oh yeah, too strong. Now that we've captured Loki, we just need to wait for night to officially begin, and we can get Gandalf's Cognito, right. It is so close to Nightfall 2. Yum, that was quick. I am over-leveled for it. That boss was level 38, I am 60. The hard part was going to be if I didn't use a Ring of Mercy, avoiding accidentally killing it. My assault rifle is nearly broken, too, so... It's got like 300 shots left. Yeah, it's like, unless you're at the very high point, the most end of endgame, I am overkill for everything. It's like, oh yeah, I'm doing the level 60 oil rig, or I'm doing the final tower boss on hard, or I'm doing the ultra version of the final raid. Those are the only things where it's not just like, deleted. Did I drink? Yes. Wait, what is that? Oh, there's the thing I'm rendering in. Good. You actually can't remember. I do. It was when I said, what could I forget in 10 seconds? You said everything. And apparently that meant you forgot me drinking. You know, let me just show you how overpowered I am again, in case we need a direct reminder. Who needs stairs? Only have hands. Okay, so I brought 2 gob fins. That means I'm only at partial power. And I'm using a rocket launcher, which has a very slow reload time. I'm not cycling through them in my inventory. I just brought 1 rocket launcher. Let me show you what the game is like if I'm not doing hard mode, or anything else at the very end of... Excuse you, you just woke up again and you're still eepy? I will blame you as much as I damn well please. It doesn't mean it's actually your fault. It's just I'm blaming you. So let's see how Timu Marnie with her Electabuzz does against us. We brought an RPG to a Pokemon fight, and Pokemon's barely an RPG anymore, so... You want to place your bets? Oh, one thing they previewed for the update as well. Zoe and theoretically others, but Zoe and other Paltamers can be recruited as allies once we supposedly build up stamina, or... Words? Once we build up trust with them. Trust? Stamina? Clearly, you don't have enough stamina to build my trust. I'm too taxing. Zoe and Grisbold. Nice Borderlands splash screen. By the way, have you ever heard of a rocket-propelled grenade? I gave you a fighting shot. I have the Ring of Mercy equipped. Go on. You know what you got through my shield? Am I regenerating health faster than you can damage me? I am standing still. Ma'am? Ma'am, hit me. Wow, that was 22 whole damage. Okay, you know what? It's been a minute. I'm ending this. Can I leave? I'm a big, mean bully, and you're not betting on anything. You should have bet on me being over-prepared. That's a given. Okay. Let's see. What's a good place with a bunch of cognito? Once we get to the correct spawns, that is. Should be... There. At night. I should probably stick to the desert, then. I was thinking of going forest, but... look at the desert in the northeast. Okay. Good thing you didn't bet you. You were praying for my downfall. It's going to happen eventually. You're just ahead of the curve. I wonder if we got any predator spawns out here. Oh! There! Behold! An evil ostrich! Or an emo ostrich, otherwise known as an emu. Can't capture this one, so I'm just gonna have to hit it really hard. You actually took more than 2 shots, I'll be damned. And so will you. Defeated a predator pal? What? I defeated a bunch of predator pals before. Did they just add that as an achievement? What? I see more achievements. I guess they added something. Undertook 10 PAL expeditions. Undertook 20 PAL expeditions. 1 hidden achievement. I 100% of the achievements, by the way. The last time I played. Which was the Blazmut Ryu raid and the first Xenolord. So. It was 100%. Even before they added the next title update. It wasn't going to be 100% anymore after 2 days. They're definitely going to add more stuff for the Terraria update. Is it nighttime yet? Look at the moon. I want a cognito. Everyone could say that I have video evidence. I did the Xenolord raid the first time on stream. Is that another predator? Hang on. No, it's a dungeon entrance. I feel like I have enough Night Star Sand, but loot is loot. No, I don't. It's photoshopped. You were there, probably. I don't remember, actually. But I have a screenshot. Who should I capture for Brooks? Let's go poaching. Lylene. Who else do we get? Ooh, a Shadowbeak. Okay. Yoink. Pal medal off of that, I'll be. Sora, time flies when you realize your favorite EDM song was 13 years ago? Any proof I have is fake. Even your live presence during the services is not enough to convince you. Maybe I need to unalive your presence to verify. You're gonna die soon? Listen, I was just bopping to Ratchet & Clank OSTs at the start of stream. That's a PS2 game from, I'm gonna conservatively say 20 years ago. Actually, 20 years ago is probably the same dawn as the Xbox 360 and just slightly ahead of the PS3, so... Too conservative, I guess, actually. I should probably say more like 23 years ago. Let's see. I'm gonna go for the instrumental version. Shut up! Too loud! Let me know if this is loud enough or needs to be louder. Now there is our desert base. Notice how I didn't say the other word, because I know Moore is going to throw a fit over it. You know what, actually, I think that Shadowbeak I'm going to name after Sora, because you showed up just in time. So congratulations, Sora. You are getting a pal named after you, too. Where were you hiding? Get back in the pen. Can you not hear the music? I was going out of my way to grab a pal, and he just showed up right in the nick of time. I have to do something. What's Loki's specific at? Hang on. There it is. I forgot the in front of it. Okay. Is the music not loud enough? Can you not hear it at 10%? Usually I don't like to go higher than that when it's desktop audio. We'll get something for Brooks. No, the music's good? Loud enough? Okay. Spawn the damn Cognitos already! Wait. Wait. Ooh. Want. Do I have a lucky beacon already? I think I do. Get down here! Ring of Mercy off. Mercy deleted. I heard the shiny sounds. I had to do it. Wait. Somehow I completely ignored the fact I picked that item up. I don't know if I need a compound bow, but it's an epic blueprint. And now we should get some Cognitos. Feed my dragon first. There we go. Just who Gandalf was looking for. There's male and female options. What do you think? Should I trans Gandalf? I'm really be putting Gandalf on hold. I'm giving him an important choice here. And unfortunately, he's not here, so you're going to make it for him. And therefore, that's your, Finally. It's an important decision. Okay. Ring of Mercy equipped. 2 bullets to the back of the head. Clearly a suicide. Oh, and Gandalf is so conscientious. He's a diet lover. I'll be. I need to get the specific characters for Gandalf. Hang on, let me scroll up here. It's just 1 underscore. Okay. There we go. Wow, Gandalf is the one chick at a sausage fest. My bird doesn't count, by the way. This is my lucky. I'm keeping it. Now, who are we going to get for Brooks? You know what? We've been to the desert. We've been to the forest. Maybe we go to the volcano region. Brooks is not as flaming as the rest of us, so we need something to compensate. The whole gang is complete. Yes. Bird, herb, and a parasite. Perfect. Faybreak or volcano? There's a volcano on Faybreak Island. Perfect. Let's see, who do we find first? I saw that Starion. Wait! Can I find some way to twist that into Astarion from BG3? I don't know if Brooks plays BG3, though. I mean, it doesn't look like a Twinkie vampire or anything, but that's definitely MLP themed. Legendary spear my ass. And of course, Brooks has already left. I have to give him the slacker Starion. That thing looks like it's an antagonist from My Little Pony. Look, I joke about Palworld stealing designs, but if you're gonna steal, at least steal from a variety of sources. That way you get the Three Stooges effect. Not everybody can sue you all at once. There's only so many courts, right? Like Mr. Burns, the Three Stooges, for his infections, is like, so you mean I'm indestructible? Well, no, even a stiff breeze could knock you indestructible. My chat doesn't go far enough back for Brooks. Okay. Hopefully I get this right. If not, I'll change it next time. Is there anybody else I'm missing that I gotta catch something and name it after them? The nights are not as long as the days in Palworld, but we still got plenty of time for a nocturnal specimen. This game must have been made by the Polish. No, the Japanese, surprisingly. Although the Japanese have somewhat reformed their international reputation in the last century. All it took was 2 nukes. Mind the gap. I will fall anywhere I damn well please on my own property. Yeah, that sounds like me. You can get Vanworm Christ out here, but not default Vanworm. Don't you dare blow up my base with your fire bullshit. I didn't have to take off my ring for that, but I was considering shooting them all. Nothing fancy. I can't say shit like that online, but for once that was actually funny. Well, worst case scenario, if my nuke joke is offensive, the internet melts down. That's just building on top of the punchline. I'm okay with that. Arson? Yeah, those Maraths, they got a burning vengeance inside of them. Nothing all that good, though, unfortunately. But if anybody else needs to be named, we have triplets, so. These undead felines, I guess they're like the spent lives of cats, so. If there's anybody we wish ill upon, we can name them after this. What do you say? I'm not naming them after me, by the way. Meow. Hopefully somebody's got some perfect ideas. Let me get this beacon where he belongs first. Or she, sorry. Why not? Beacon. Did I already have a lucky one or not? Oh, wait, hang on. I have a lucky one, but it's also in my living Palpedia. I have a lucky male and a lucky female now. You hate me, though? Then name a Vanworm after me. Actually, no, Vanworm deserves better. Name a Vanworm Christ after me. You know what? In fact, I'll catch one and I'll name it Ferox Christalism. How's that sound? The inferior Vanworm. be after Bushi. Okay. There you go. And I'm gonna lock... I can't lock you. I need to lock you and then put you in. Deal! Okay. I'm just gonna put this beacon in storage where it belongs, and then we will get on that. You can hang tight until I find what I'm looking for. Now, where am I gonna find a Van Worm The universe delivers. And unfortunately, I'm getting bitch-made now. Get back here, one of you. I didn't re-equip my Ring of Mercy. Ah. Sudoku'd by my own rocket launcher. To be fair, if even, I think it was Hemingway, if even Hemingway had to go out with his own favorite shotgun, I could go out with my own favorite rocket launcher. Oh, but these ones have penises. Excuse you? Missed by a country mile. You know what? I'm aiming for the ground. I didn't have a full stack of captured Van Worm Crysts? Wow, I really don't like them. Okay, time to name one after me. Let's see, which one is worse? Nimble or Veil of Darkness? I mean, Veil of Darkness is a generally lesser ability, but the one with Nimble has weaker overall IVs. Yep. Crystalism? Meet Crystalism. And I guess that just makes you dead weight. Thank you for the head pats. What do now? Past the legendary, or the epic blueprints. There we go. That's a new one for me. Okay. Yeah, just toss a couple of those things in the, There. Actually, no, those go in the, one down here. Well, I'm not sure what to do now. I've already done everything that's currently available in the tech tree. Ancient and standard tech points. I made all the saddles. So any PAL that can be ridden right now, I can ride. Any crafting station I want, any farming spot, I can do. I'm already wearing full light rare or uncommon hexalite. I have not been able to farm up a better tier of armor for this yet. I know I could just keep grinding away on the oil rigs, but that's a time commitment. It's not really something I can target for a good reason. What other weapons do I have right now ready to go? I have an epic plasma cannon. I have an epic multi-guided missile launcher. I have a legendary laser rifle. No shit, I can ride. I made that clear a long time ago. Well. That doesn't mean you asked for a demonstration of me cranking that hog, but it does seem like the insinuation crashed the stream. Hang on, just a minute, just a minute. Alrighty, it looks like we're back now. No, we're still a fair bit behind. Are we back? Oh, looks like it. Okay, hang on. So yeah, I was reading your comment about how you made it clear a long time ago. Yes, I did, but you're the one who said it out loud, and apparently I can ride everything except for my preconceptions that the stream will just fucking work. It lasted longer than previously, I'll give it that. Monster Hunter Wilds is a lot more strenuous on the rig than Palworld. But yeah, that was a crash for real, for real. What was I saying before it broke? Right. I've got some legendary weapons, but mostly epic is what I'm working with. Like, I got 2 legendaries in my current arsenal. There's not a grappling gun higher than epic. There's not a pickaxe higher than Pal Metal. The best shield, the best glider. You can make arguments as to the best sphere module. There's people that prefer the auto-targeting sphere module instead of sniper. I prefer sniper over the crit chance. It does give you better odds, although the auto-tracker does make it so your ball doesn't get wasted most of the time, so. You can argue there's a better launcher module. This should be good enough to start off wherever the new expansion begins. Should. I should fix my rifle. But that would be boring. Oh my god, hold on. What do you got? There's barely any delay, yeah. It does seem like, generally speaking, once the stream has a hard crash, it comes back strong. I wouldn't recommend that as a long-term solution, but it does seem to currently have its perks. Almost none, yeah. But the delay is so fun. No, you have to think up your retorts on time now. Just like me. I never used the universal storage conveyor belt. I took the time to set it up looking all nice up here, right next to the butchery assembly line, the condenser array, and all this other futuristic hexalite crap. And I never use it. I like to sort my things manually. But I crafted it because I could. And thus I did. Nothing I do looks nice. Really? Not even this giant mosquito lantern glowing in the nights? Wait! Wait. Brain is trying to remember one more thing. Like, these capture cages I have up here, the viewing cages, these are just like 1 PAL per cage for special PALs. I already tore down most of my viewing cages at the other bases. But there's one. Let's see. I still have viewing cages here because of the Yakimo spreads. Sorry, that's my phone. Let's see. 1, 2... I don't have any viewing cages at the raid base because it's for raids. I have 1 viewing cage at my next AIO base because I want another location specifically designed with new updates in mind. This base we showed is the interior base with the legendary Pal Tamer. Nothing built there, no cages. I only have 1 cage built here. I believe it's just Astagon, Phalaris Aqua, Orsurk, Shroomer Noct, and some Lavander. It's 1 viewing cage. This is the base where I'm planning to expand things. Do you see why I was making those insinuations about Lavander, by the way? I'm going to use my rocket launcher to help with that modesty. So yeah, this is 28 PALs. Nothing fancy. Whatever I say, pretty boy. You need to get your eyes checked then. But yeah, this is a hard one to make out at night because I haven't put anything in it aside from the bare essentials on the ground floor. But yeah, this has the potential to be another all-in-one base. It's got good space, nothing can invade here. The next nearest enemy I would have to provoke is too far away for their shocks to reach us. It's a solid location. I stole it from a YouTuber. It's got all the essentials for setting up any of the mining centers. And I've got 4 stockpiles maxed out of each of the materials I can get from it. The ore nodes, the coal nodes, the sulfur, the quartz, the stone, or the lumber. Thief, you know it. So I can make any of those mining nodes and the lumber node, and I have the resources to make 15 PAL pods. So that's all the bedding I could need as well. That said, though, out of all those bases, there's 1 base that I have been criminally underusing, and I know it's also got at least a dozen capture cage or viewing cages on it. So I need to think about what I'm doing with this. As you can see here, I have 1 viewing cage with 7 electric pals. I believe it's 4 Orsurk and 3 Grisbolts. This is the one I take with me when I need to get a new base online or re-up the generators. I generally prefer Orsurk over Grisbolt, but I can see the appeal for going with a Hell Zephyr Lux. I don't have any ready for that, though. The thing we need to look at, however, is this. 13 viewing cages. That is enough for 400 PAL. 420 to be exact. It looks better in the daylight, but yeah. I also prepared another 4 above it just in case I actually wanted to do anything with it. And as always, I hid the beds out of the way just so I could have my pals, fully nocturnal or vampiric, actually focus on their jobs instead of try to reach their sleeping quarters. But yeah, this base, the primary function, was not aesthetic. it was these. Getting 2 oil extractors, the large ones no less, on each oil node. And this base, these exact coordinates, I was able to fit 3 oil nodes in 1 base space. So that's 6 oil extractors. Baby girl, hydrate, damn it. I'm probably going to have to bail sooner, so... You say hydrate, I might just drown. These are my alpha and beta wave generators. Feeding. Here's some hot springs. All the essentials. So yeah, I have to reconsider between both my breeding base and my oil base what I want to do with all those PAL cages, because I don't need them anymore. There is so much space in the new guild PAL storage. Let me show you. You doubt I've drunk my 2 liters today, so no, you will not. You underestimate my talent. I could look up in a rainstorm. Look. I have dead space in my boxes while I'm keeping everything sorted. And even then, I still haven't gone past 110. $103, and it goes up to 320. That's more than Pokemon Home. Pokemon Home gives you 200 boxes, and you have to pay a subscription for that. Meanwhile, Palworld is just like, nah, man, here's a free update. You can have basically an extra, what would you call that? 120 over to the 200, that'd be about 60% of storage. Thanks, Nintendo. Gotta love you, Sue and Palworld, Pocket Pair, you name it. Not jaded at all. So I don't need all those dedicated viewing cages anymore. I don't need any bases that are exclusively dedicated to storing my pals. I'm not even a third of the way to full now. And this is before even factoring in the global storage system, where you can transfer pals between characters if you're so inclined. It's just... I have so much room for activities now, and pals. Doesn't get better than that, does it? You know, maybe there is one more thing we should do before we go. Just one. That's my character starving again. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Okay. Actually, hang on. Before I do this, hang on. I need to grab a specific PAL from my box first. Or I could go catch a fresh one, but I want to... Yeah. I already have perfect ones. You know what? We're going to catch one. Back and forth, back and forth. How else am I gonna ring you? I was gonna say by the neck, but just drag you along. That ringing in your ears, that persistent little hum. Somebody has to apply that repeatedly. And I am happy to fill that role. Wait. I hear a Lucky. Where do I hear the Lucky? Oh my god, he's perfect. This is better than what I had planned. You two better not kill him. Lucky and Vampiric. A random Lucky with a random rainbow passive. That's actually better than what I had planned. I'm gonna pretend that was the plan the entire time. No, get off. Don't fast travel. A new update has that tree looking closer than ever. I think with that, we might be wrapping things up, so... The Tides of Terraria update, the summer update for Palworld, is scheduled to come out on June 25th. We don't have an exact time for release, so... Time zones permitting, it could be as early as tomorrow night. We'll have to find out. However, while lacking that specificity, I will confirm this. We are playing Tides of Terraria as soon as it drops. As soon as I'm physically able to after it drops, mind you. Tomorrow, I have a complication. Might have to spend some time with the family. Depending on that, schedule might be too tight to stream. However, if I'm not available tomorrow, I will offer you certainty of Wednesday, however. Wednesday, what we stream is going to depend on when the Tides of Terraria update drops. If the update drops right on time, the 25th, midnight in a minute, I will be there day one. Minute one, even. Actually, no, that's a lie. I will be there as early as I can on Wednesday. I want to get as much of the Palworld update as I can. I can't make any promises for tomorrow, though, so... Nothing on Tuesday. Thursday could be complicated. I have multiple doctors. So I'm going to offer you a firm promise of Wednesday, and we are going to stick to that. Addicted? Absolutely. I have... 1,046.5 hours in Palworld. That is the kind of addiction Pokemon used to be able to take for granted. Now they gotta fight for it. And unfortunately, Nintendo used lawsuit. It's super effective. Ugh. I love Palworld and I love Terraria. I've been looking forward to this crossover for months. What time Wednesday? That is the million zenny question, because we don't know what time the Tides of Terraria update drops. If I can get my standard time, 1 PM EST, I will. If the update drops sooner than that, I might start early. I'm aiming for 1 PM EST. Unlike today, unfortunately, 2 PM. I had to come from something, so... Really? You're not going to take that one? I set it up for free. Well, fine. I'm coming from something, and you're going to go to bed and get a good night's rest. Hopefully everybody had a great time today, and I will see you again soon. Be a pal and come back next time. I'll catch you later. No? Well, here's the funny thing. I have a button here labeled yes. Yes, the stream is ending. Also, yes, what I said. Whatever it was. Versus you... Too bad. Catch you later.